As a famed dungeon master, Johnny Cash once said, after the big bad was restrained, knocked prone, charmed, and set ablaze, bound by wild desire, I fell into a wall of fire. Hey, hey! Welcome to Homebrew, the show where we avoid the crushing dullness of everyday life using our two favorite forms of escapism, alcohol and Dungeons and Dragons. This probably isn't your first time watching. That would be wild. So we're just going to cut straight into it. Episode 46, introducing the beers at the table. I'm drinking two things at the moment. I'm double fisting. I got a little cola kombucha, so that's not a real beer. It's just something I have here to be refreshing. I'll tell you what it tastes like. Someone added vinegar to Coke. It's gross. But the thing I'm looking forward to drinking is Happy Days by Rascals. That's what I'm drinking at the moment. And then moving along the old overlay. Hey, Wes, what are you having tonight?
Hey there. I'll open with the one I'm most excited and hesitant about, because I'm going back into the White Hag, and we're trying the Super Split, which apparently is orange ice cream ale. So that could be amazing or god awful. And then we also have Voodoo Ranger, which I bought purely for the can because it's so cool. If you're on podcast time, it's like a skeleton wearing one of those like flappy-eared warm hats.
I think they call it.
Which?
Deer stuff?
Yeah,
Yes, deer hunter hats. Yes. And then I've got a mix of House of Pale and Hazy Little Thing. I've just got a mix of stuff. Hazy Little Thing I've had before. I just kind of want something a bit fresher. But that's me. I'm hoping that some of them will be useful because we never think to do the whole beers can affect the world thing. I don't know. I'm gonna like super split someone in half. We'll find out. That's me.
You have an axe, so
I do. Never get to use it.
Just use us all with a lovely ice cream. I think.
Paul, what are you drinking?
Yeah, we could all go for ice cream sundaes. That's a different way.
I also, like Wes, was just like, we don't really use the whole trick. So like I got a couple ones. Like I got my Vincent and Holloman's as well. I got Handsome Jack, which also has a skull with an eye patch that also has a human eye on it.
Mm-hmm.
I got a falling down ale, so I'm gonna try and make someone fall down at some point. I also got Force of the Fina to really kind of like boost us at some point. And then I got a White Claw as well. So I'm probably not gonna get through all of these, but I'll try.
Oh yeah, it's handy just have the names there.
Yeah, exactly. And then of course I have the old blue and red potions up.
I feel like if we somehow named like a villain in this show White Claw and people didn't know the premise of the show, I'd be like, that's a cool villain name. And then you're like, we name the people after the drinks we drink, then you'd immediately lose respect for that villain. You'd be like, oh cool, so it's a fizzy drink. Cool.
Yeah. You don't have any big bads or anything, yeah.
You're drinking an orange cream ale. I think you can get off Paul's back of having a seltzer.
I'm not saying I'm the hard lad of the show by any chance.
I can break out the rums if you really want to go.
I'd like to see what happens.
Moving swiftly along.
And Paul is just feet up after drinking an entire flagon of rum.
Lucy, what do you have today?
Okay, do you think you can tell? I usually have some excuse for like why my stuff is shit. Can you tell what my excuse is this time? Where do you think I got this array of things? That's right, a petrol station. It is. In fact, they have a big sign that says "We sell wine," which I realized as I pulled in. I didn't have time to stop again, so I'm going to do some kind of like wine spritzer with. But I thought. A Red Bull or a Monster, those could be useful things to call on in battle. And I've got some like 0% Heineken as well. So just like representing, the other non-craft people once more. You're welcome.
There's not enough wine on this show, in fairness.
Exactly. But I couldn't drink a straight glass of wine. That would be a disaster. So I'm going to make some kind of spritzery things. Anyway.
Nice. Keelan, you've already built some hype up about your drinks this week in our Discord. So there are people specifically here just for this.
I haven't opened it. I haven't, in fact, had a drink yet today because I wanted to drink this first. So I haven't opened it because I wanted to figure I should open it on stream. Talking about great names for D&D, it also happens to be called Lucy Ketchen. You know, we can name a character Lucy Ketchen. Classic D&D name. Doesn't it just scream?
Finally, there can be a Lucy.
So, for anyone else, this beer is a coconut and kiwi sour. There's some voices that say that the coconut would be the preferable flavor rather than the kiwi. I mean, there's been some argument and some discussion. I would say I'm excited about both, and I can't wait to try it. So I'm going to give it a go. I have some other beers. Ooh.
Yeah,
It's like, I love coconut, but the idea of coconut sour is just. Oh,
Yeah, it sounds vile.
okay. He hasn't gone blind. That's good.
No, it's delicious. I guess it does taste like kiwi.
Oh.
Yeah.
Is that from the commercial?
No, it's actually it's delicious. I just I didn't know what to expect. But look, there was a lot of hype. There was a lot on this,
It was.
and in the end, it's quite good. I drink it again. The other beers I've brought are a jam up boysenberry blackberry dry hop sour, which is a very long name, but it has a cool kind of I'm going to say beholder mixed with Medusa on the front of it. So, and then another classic name, a Dominga, a mimosa sour. Excited about the idea of a mimosa beer.
Ooh.
The font kind of looks like if Coca-Cola did porn.
Yeah. If. That's a big if.
That would just be like generic porn that everyone likes. You know.
You know, that porn that everyone
porn
is
zero.
And then the last I've brought, quite nice little can, the Garden Brewery, which is a raspberry basil sour.
Lovely.
So I'm very excited about that as well. I'm excited about all of them, to be honest. I don't know how useful the garden will be as a name, but you know, I look forward to trying it.
Some
this
beers
is
you
the
buy for the
episode
name,
to-
some beers you buy for the taste.
I think this is probably the episode to be pulling the beer names, actually, now that I think about it.
Yeah.
Yeah. We got a couple of announcements to get through before we start the game proper. And also, rather excitingly, breaking news. My internet's a little bit dodgy, so I'm going to duck and dive during the announcements. I'll be back, don't worry. But I'm going to leave you in the capable hands of Lucy and Wes, who are going to tell you about some things. And then hopefully I'll be back to tell you about some stuff too. So, you know, talk shit about me while I'm gone, I guess. I'm just going to do the old Wi-Fi on and off.
Okay, obviously this has to be like the community episode where he returns and it's on fire, right?
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
Tell you what, I'll do mine first, because that way you have an act to follow, Lucy. I'll set it up for you. For a community corkboard, we have an announcement. Well, we announced this last episode before. Ben and now myself will be appearing on a charity stream with the D8 Dungeon. On the where's the date gone? Oh no, I've lost the date because it's not on the poster that I have. It is
July
for
31st. I'm
July
back.
31st. There we go. Thank you. He's still here. Thank you, Benjamin. It will be a bunch of streams running from 12:30 a.m. on the Saturday, I believe, all the way through till 9:30 the following morning on Sunday. So it's gonna be a lot of
12:30 the following morning. It's a 24-hour stream, so the last game starts.
Oh, sorry.
At 9:30.
I didn't.
We'll run
Okay, that's
for
a
3
long
hours.
ass last game. That's why I misunderstood that.
3 hours.
Yeah, fair enough. God, I'm glad you didn't fully disconnect during this announcement. The part I can confidently cover is we will be playing at 6 a.m. on the Sunday, and Ben will be running a game called Sky Tigers, which is set in the cartoon action era adventure game. So if you're thinking like, you know, Transformers, He-Man, all that kind of stuff, that's the vibe of the show. And if you're familiar with our show, you'll be also familiar with Sky Tigers, who are ridiculous and wonderful in equal measure. And now I'll be playing in it as well, so that should be a bit of fun. And it's for charity, so, you know, always good to help. Project Hope and Child's Play are the charities. That's a native. Also, while I have you, if you're on YouTube, like and subscribe to the videos. Tell friends about it. Always be plugging. But yeah, it's all really appreciated. End of announcements from me.
Speaking of us, Lucy, where else can people find us?
Yes, you can find us everywhere you get podcasts, which is now so many places. They want you to think it's just Spotify. I can't make the switch. Can you make the switch? Anyway, we're a podcast. So if you want to listen to this audio only, or you know anyone who would be into this but doesn't want to watch videos, then go find us anywhere there. And yeah, there was a comment recently in which one person has listened to the podcast. So this is gonna it's time you're gonna hear this. So, I think doing it. Okay, yeah, we're a podcast.
I think we laughed over.
And one last announcement. yeah. One last announcement. We are also going to be running a competition on our social channels. You can find us at Homebrew Quest. And what we are giving away is a year subscription to Obsidian Portal. If you don't know what Obsidian Portal is, they've been around for a while. Like they've been they know TTRPGs, but they know your grandpa's one and your grandkids one. They know TTRPGs. But essentially what it is, it's an all-in-one tool for GMs and players to organize their sessions. So whether you want to put your story notes, your character notes, adventure notes, all your notes in there, there's a built-in scheduler. It's completely free to sign up, but the Ascendant membership, which is what we're giving away, only sets you back about $5 a month. You don't have to pay that $5 if you enter our competition, which we are launching at the end of the next episode. So like in 2 weeks' time, I'll post up something on social media. All the rules, all the mechanics, all the ways to win will be there. So stay tuned. You might as well follow us now. You'll get 2 weeks of cool content from the likes of us over there on the old social channels. That's sort of it. We've had longer announcements this week, but that's okay. I think we should start the show. I think we should play some god darn D&D. So if we're ready and feeling good, grab yourself a chair, pull up a drink as we dive into a world where anything is possible, but not always probable. Welcome back to the realm of Hibernia. And imagine, if you will, this sort of tattered brown paper of job postings on doors and notice boards around towns. Adventurers wanted. And reading down this sign, you realize that some of the details get into needing to vanquish troublesome fae. Fae sightings have been at an all-time increase in Hibernia, and now more than ever, we need adventurers and heroes to help push these cruel monsters back. We see a typical Hibernian town. It's isolated, it's walled in, with a backdrop of rolling hills and mountains. And in this town, we can hear up on a soapbox, a cleric, a zealous cleric shouting, "Forsaken us! The hound has forsaken us!" And you can see that the world is beginning to change. Now that there's roads connecting people and the hound seemingly disappeared and fae creatures just apparating into existence anywhere these roads are built, we also find that there are motley crews of adventurers suddenly filling every tavern. The sound of gold clinking down on tables and passing hands just fills the world. It's kind of booming, but maybe too fast for a small world like Hibernia to handle. And as a profession, it's providing quite lucrative. There's only a 70% death rate, which, to put into context, accountants in Hibernia have an 80% death rate. So adventuring's a pretty good job. And we see the same scene town over town. Mountains in the background rotate out for harbour sides, for flatlands, for deserts, for snowy peaks. Every town in Hibernia is dealing with an abundance of adventurers and an abundance of fae invasions. It seems like adventurers are returning. The world is rapidly changing. But little do any of these people know, this is the storm before a bigger storm. And in one abandoned village, not at all like the thriving towns I've described before, we see a wizard and a kobold and 4 sexy, sexy adventurers about to start their day. You've just woken up after a long rest. And Randir, I wanted to ask you, do you dream?
Yeah?
Cool. So with a good sleep behind you.
That's...
he's a dwarf, right? He's not like a automaton.
Sorry?
He might be. What do you think Randir dreams about? Do you think he has peaceful dreams, nightmares? Like, what's his usual? How does he drift off to sleep?
I think he has nice dreams mostly. You know, like everybody. Like, and then occasionally the nightmare. Probably something horrible from his past.
Ooh.
You know, like you know, the time he was trapped.
Oh yeah, that thing.
You know,
yeah.
that
I was starting to think maybe Randy doesn't dream, and he's just trying to cover for it. It's like, yeah, I have dreams, like regular dreams, like that time I was in a place.
Yeah, like he dreams of like,
Chasing rabbits.
yeah.
I think Randy 100% runs like a dog in his sleep. Chasing deals.
It's from the time that he stayed with all those wolves. He was just like sitting there in the middle of the night watching them thing, and it was a dream, and he's just like, so that's what that is. Yeah, he dreams of like being successful and starting up. His good dreams are being rich, and his bad dreams are once again being trapped in that cave in.
So good.
Oh
dreams,
yeah, that's pretty
dreams are Scrooge McDuck in the old pile of gold.
Yeah,
bad dreams are Scrooge McDucking into an empty cavern, no pile of gold.
With rocks.
Yeah. Okay.
Rocks.
Yeah.
With a good sleep behind you, you all find yourselves fully rested and waking up in the early afternoon. Not that you know, given that there's no way to tell time due to the perpetual evening sky that dominates the land. Its crimson purple glow casts across this ruined and abandoned crossroads village of Beaverton, and a cool breeze runs through the street, cutting the warm evening around you. It's pleasant. It's the type of day worth saving the world for. And speaking of Arlington, over breakfast, your Papa Todd comes and sits down beside you. Everyone else, you can all hear this. You're all bundled together, so it's not a secret conversation. Well, my lad, I have a few questions, if you don't mind, about the plan at hand, Iggy, actually, if you wouldn't mind, just for a moment, just kind of earmuffs, if that's okay. Just, and maybe eye muffs or whatever you need to do. And we can put our minds... Oh, yeah.
I could just natter away at her if you'd like.
Well, whatever works. I mean,
and I've already gone.
You're running away from your problems. Nice.
Well, Arlington, I'm thinking we could put our minds together and think of a way to keep Iggy safe from scrying eyes, but also keep the plan afoot. So, I don't think I've been much help, my boy. If you wouldn't mind, what is your plan with Rua? Do you want to fight her? Kill her? Are you trying to understand her and sway her towards your actions? What's going on?
I don't get the impression she'll be easily swayed, to be honest. I haven't fully thought it through. I certainly would like to avoid killing her if I can, it being Ignatius's mother and all, but I'm as loath as I am to say it, if it comes to it, I'm afraid I would kill her if needs be. If for the sake of, sparing, the many over the few and all that or whatever. But again, totally would really like to not commit matricide. Well, it's not my mother, but assisted matricide, co-matricide.
Well, if that's the case, then every murder would be patricide or matricide, I suppose.
Yes, no, that's what I've been saying this whole time. It's so dark,
Right. Well, I see you've still a couple of things to teach you about the world, but
well, that's sort of my plan so far, basically. No, I mean, to be honest, I've decided to stop trying to be someone I'm not, Papa. You've taught me so much about the world, and I feel like I've spent a lot of my time trying to be you and trying to solve my problems with logic and science and thinking. And I've been around more intelligence, standard intelligence and emotional intelligence than myself. I've realized I'm tired of doing things badly. And whenever I try and do thinking or planning or negotiating, it tends to go pretty poorly. But anytime I've tried to, arm wrestle someone or suplex someone or backflips, I've met a few people who could backflip with me. I'm pretty good at it. So I'm kind of good to follow along smarter people than me,
Well, that's good, my boy, because I presume the rest of and Hook and Randy, you seem are on the same page, kill her if it's the only means, I suppose, but...
They agree with me.
Yeah.
I'll take yours.
Were you asking us? I can't remember if I was nattering away or near you and could hear.
I think it's safe to presume you were talking to someone, if no one but yourself.
Oh, the internal natter is always going.
Yeah, You've got that Father Dougal look of like in conversation, even if you're not talking to someone.
She may have to go, although, we might not have to kill her, just scupper her plan and she's just stays banished, I mean, it might not come to as bad as, I also didn't know how you can kill an archfey. There are
what I'm saying, that I think maybe perhaps like trying to bind her to a place. I mean, that it would be effective for however long it's taken her to come up. It's important to think like you'll need allies. It's an archtrade. The couple of you here wouldn't be able to take her on even in a subduing. So just have a think about who might be standing by your side, to balance out the forces.
Hold on, Bob. I was pretty clear. I'm pretty good at backflips and push-ups and stuff now, so we've got it covered,
and we do actually have a grander, party of people. There's a deer. There's a deer lad. There's the Fianna. There's Rian. He's off with them, sorting them out. And
he'll be back any day now. He's just waiting for a dramatic entrance.
What are you saying?
He's going to swoop in and steal all the XP and get the last hit. I just know it.
He's off swashbuckling, swinging off chandeliers. He's having a great old time. Obviously, also solving our problems. But there are compatriots. We have a plan to meet them in there and to look for these godly artifacts.
Oh yes, well, so you're looking for the godly artifacts, the treasures that the two are down in, and I suppose this Rian fellow and this deer fellow, they might be finding out maybe where the ritual's going down, and I mean, if you know her real name, that would be infinitely helpful because her phase and names, that would be the one thing.
He's been
I was thinking about it.
Guarded about that, in my experience. We haven't really had many opportunities to trick her, and to be honest, we haven't even tried. I would presume Fae are fairly hard to trick.
We haven't asked her either, what her real name is. She might just tell us.
Oh,
the thing about names is
we haven't asked her, but if nothing else, that's extremely rude, isn't it?
Well, she was a tree at the time. I think she told us her name.
That's true. Well, now that I think about it, Rua really is more of a nickname, isn't it?
Yeah, but that's the point, Arlington, I'm trying to make, is that multiple people know your name. So she's not the only one who might know her name. Have you asked anyone else?
Hi, virtually everyone.
Arlington picks like a tick out of the back of his head. He's like,
no, I haven't really considered it.
To be fair, most people don't even know her as Rua. There's a bunch of people. There was your dirty bitch fellows. They
Yes, we really should have questioned them a bit, shouldn't we?
They had no idea. I think I recall of what her name.
Well,
was.
I knew Lavog was pretty scared of her, but he didn't seem to have any direct contact with her. I think there was perhaps a middleman in between or something like that. I didn't.
He just some kind of like mad druid lass, he thought. So we're further along than some of her peons. That's not nothing.
That's true.
We've at least got Rua.
I mean, Papa Tag, do you know of any places that would be a good place to sort of research Rua? Libraries or villages that would have very strong ties to the Feywild or anything like that?
Well, I know. Well, there's a couple of things you could find out about. Like, I see your problem that you don't know anyone who might know her or have gotten intimate with her or in any shape or form.
Well, no. He knows her father.
I suppose.
That's true. We could.
You got as intimate as you can get with a person. You made a baby.
Who told you how babies are made, Arlington?
Well,
we gave him a book.
Did you meet Rian?
You gave him a book.
Oh yeah, shit! I forgot. I got a book on sex. I forgot about that.
It had to do with sharks and bees.
I forgot Arlington learned about sex from a book.
How could you forget? That's been the cornerstone of your character, as far as I've been.
That's true. It explains a lot, actually, in hindsight.
We gave him a book, The Sharks and the Bees, or something like that, and
yes, it explains all the hair I had that I didn't have before. I've got a little bit more under the the elbow sort of thing, and very much the palms of my hands are very almost like I'm carrying carpet around. It's crazy. It's ridiculous.
And
Anyway,
his gills are coming along nicely.
you noticed the gills. Oh, I've been waiting for
You
someone.
see a sword slash from a recent battle right still there.
Just the claw marks from when Goat
Yeah,
tried to get away from
definitely
him.
hasn't healed right.
Exactly.
Could be a claw scar, could be a gill. You know, sometimes some fish I hear have gills on their elbows. I've heard that.
Does
Shall we?
Wolverine say
Okay, I feel bad leaving Ignatius out in the cold of a conversation like this. I know we have to be careful because she's effectively a walkie-talkie. Hold on. What if we use that to our advantage? What if we just speak of plans that we want Rua to know about, and bank on the fact that she'll be eavesdropping and use that to try and find out some information? I'm not sure how. Like, we can be, oh, it would be the worst thing in the world if we knew what your real name was, or something, you know. I haven't thought this one fully through, I'll be honest with you, but
We could lead her into a trap. With that
that's what I
information.
was. Yes, see, I knew we brought you for a reason, Randy.
We could lead
How
her into
could,
a trap by just lying and saying that it's like, oh yeah, we found the most powerful weapon in the universe and we're gonna go get it right now, and then trap her in some kind of iron cage.
And how good is everyone? Everyone's really good at performance, aren't we?
Yes. Let me look up my stats right now.
I'm actually.
I feel like we're a really good performing troupe, and also, she will have seen us send Iggy away on 2 occasions at least. Now, if she was crying at either of those times, it's fair to say.
Well, scry is a spell. Like, it's not a constant 24. God, my nose bleeds. 27.
10.
27. There's only 20 hours in the day.
What universe have you been from?
But if there's what I'm saying is it's not a perfect plan.
Right, so she's not constantly listening. It's just sort of a
Well,
small percentage of the 20-hour day.
Can you just look? Because that'd be an important factor. Just Scryan just looking.
I don't know. I don't know the specifics about the. I was thinking about this going to bed last night, and obviously what we need to do for Iggy is maybe find a way to make her immune from divination or an ivy that would cloak her in sort of shadow and mystery, or even an item that would cloak her in falsehood, so that if you did scry, it would show like the wrong thing. That could be.
We could have a loop playing, a 10-second loop, so it takes him forever to realize we broke in and stole the gems.
It could just be me being like, hiya!
And then she'll be like, oh, I've totally figured you out. And we'll be like, no, we stole the gems earlier today. It's a double bluff. We're totally out of here.
It turns out we're actually the casino. Dressed up.
Well, I think either way, hooks and your punks, we should maybe we'll put that any plan in action. Something to think about. I can even over the next week or so have a look into if there's anything to do. We might be able to tackle Rua, but we could tackle the planes aspect. I mean, the planes themselves. I mean, they're separate for a reason. Like otherwise they'd be together. So there has to be a reason they're separated. And I look into that, and if there's anyone who might be as ancient as Rua, maybe we could ask. That would be handy. And maybe then we could try, as you say, to speak to someone who's been intimate with Rua. And there's options, and we have time. I mean, what did you say? A month or something? In a month you could level up 10 levels, depending on the grind.
It was a month at the start, and it's been an amount of time. You see, it doesn't the whole day and night thing. Can you remember when that started actually at all?
What should I remind you about?
Remind us when the thing started.
Yeah.
What should I remind you about?
Remind me how much time it's been since the sky was permanently day.
Yeah, that taught me as well. How long has it been constantly evening?
Oh no. Sorry. It's going to remind me that I wanted to know when the sky was permanently day at 7:00 tomorrow.
Oh no.
Alfred, did she scry into you there? Because we've got
Yeah. That was
Yes,
creepy.
scry.
I think, is Rua Google?
Yeah.
God, yes.
Only explanation.
Yeah,
what
sorry,
if
I
she
think I
hates
missed
cookies?
that it's constantly evening. Has that been a thing for a while? Is that new?
No, that was like that in the old Elven town, Drake.
Correct, yeah.
Mhm.
It started then, and like more or less when it was all on fire and everything. And
Yeah. I thought that was just that city though.
So
Okay.
well, that is what we thought. That's what we thought.
Okay.
I don't know where this conversation is happening
Hmm?
in real life or in character.
It can be both.
Did you set an elven town on fire?
So it was in the thing. No, it was on fire when we got there.
It got set on fire while we were there. Yes.
And some of the fire was magic fake fire, which we hid behind. So
I feel like I've
Not all bad.
joined a wrong crew. Suddenly, a bunch of arsonists and like murderers.
well, you were following us around. You must have seen the burnt wreckage of trees.
I wasn't a Triact.
To be fair, I mean, so far you've come in contact with several people who are looking to invest in your brand, and several magic weapons, more so than you would hanging out with, a postman.
How? Well, because I could start, if I was hanging with a postman, I could open all the posts.
No,
If you wanted to break the law.
I'm pretty sure that's illegal in all the countries.
Wildly illegal. I've beheaded innocent children, and I'm abhorred by that.
We didn't even know the bounty for opening all of the mail. I think they call it going postal. I heard that. Postmen, they go postal. They open all the mail.
There's a big
Can we safely let Iggy back? I feel bad that we're excluding her from this whole thing.
Oh yeah, but we haven't in any way discussed anything. If we do bring her back, it will have been mostly we just sent her away for 5 minutes and solved nothing, and then brought her back.
Well, I suppose if we say what our fact-finding mission is, it's not really going to scupper us if she knows about that. Just our specific plans.
Well, okay. We should table discussing stopping her being scried. Otherwise, this is going to be a regular thing.
Well, why doesn't me, Goat, and Papa Tyke all kind of get together and try to work on an anti-scry device?
Goat, excuse me, small kobold goat, adorable crotchety man. Do you have any kind of scry protection sort of anti-scrying technology we could employ?
No more tears.
Make a perception check, Arlington.
Perception check.
Can we call them no more tears?
The perception is Goat's gone. Goat just disappeared last night.
Why won't you let me roll? D&D Beyond. Sometimes you're very cool and sometimes you're very nice. But I rolled well, so that is a 22 on perception.
Nice. Yeah, you look around and Goat isn't in this ruin. You realize that he was trying to get away from you for ages, and then you just realize he was actually behind a kobold-shaped pot. Hello.
I lift the pot up and the perfect comedic reveal. There you are. I hold him like a little baby, like a toddler, on my hip.
No, where's your part trying to get away to? Goat, do you have any anti-scrying material? Any kind of scry? Stop trying to wriggle away. He's biting like it's going to hurt. Very adorable. All right. And I kind of over his mouth. Oh, come on. All right. Do you have any scrying protection technology? Not if you promise you're not going to bite me.
You cover his mouth and grab just the scruff of his neck. Something about holding him there just sort of limps down. I don't know. He's fine.
Like a dog.
But no, I don't have any anti-scry. I have the materials, of course, and for the right price, I can build you anything. That's my slogan. I'll invent it or blow up trying. You saw it on my sign, and that's something I stick. Even my kidnappers get that deal.
He's a dedicated businessman. I'll give him that.
Some kind of anti-scrying device. We can talk about some kind of, we can pay something.
And of course, we can certainly, if you know what the materials are, Iggy can help us with that without knowing what the pieces are for.
Well, I think actually, if we're there's no harm in just what's the worst that can happen? Rua scries and sees that she can't scry no more. I mean, I think it'd be fine. Just to when she scries in and she realizes we're putting our mind shield up, she'd go flip herself she can't stop him.
Well, I mean, yes. I mean, when she tries to scry, she can see that she can scry no more. That's absolutely fair. But if you were under the impression that she was still seeing, I'm still on the video loop thing.
Well, maybe we could put in like call forwarding. So every time she tries to scry, we just get her to scry this like.
Who has called me again with this annoying message?
No, I was thinking we could get her to just scry some, a nice place where there is a river or something. We could call it the Scry Me a River.
Well, I was thinking maybe like if she tries to scry and because Iggy's like a woman and she gets there, but it's no woman, no scry.
Oh, that's true. That's a good one as well.
Oh God, a lot of pressure
Go on,
on
Wes.
the third one, but I
Your
also
turn.
don't want this to
Your
continue.
fault, Lucy. Everyone's got to do one now.
Got him out of the room, so I don't have to.
Just for good measure, maybe she's really upset about it, and we're like, "Scry your eyes, mate."
Mm.
Remember that song? That was a good song for the streets.
That was a good song.
Anyway,
One of their 3 good songs.
Yeah. Ignatius, you could, if you're doing laps and you could hear me in this booming wizard voice, in the way that wizards really only can, come back in and finish your sausages.
I'm going to race back inside.
Well, now we have to cook sausage for thank you time.
Did she start sausages?
So, yeah, you're having breakfast and stuff. That's the thing. I'm assuming
Actually, I
there's
feel like Ty
constantly a
is
fry-up.
constantly producing fry-ups, yeah.
Mhm. So what we're going to do is, depending on what you guys want to do, so I'm completely at your disposal, but protecting Iggy from a scry through an item or a spell or a ritual or whatever you want to do, and I've we can chat to different NPCs and characters to see what your options are. It's going to take some time. It's not a kind of like there's a one spell solve, and how long it takes is up to you. So we're going to montage through the protection of Iggy through scrying, and in any way you want, be it like a temporary thing, something you can turn on and off, a call forwarding, and at the end of it, we'll do be it like an artificer roll if you're using Ramdir's ability to forge and create something with Goat, or or it'll be Arcana either way, but it'll be Randir or Arlington. You'll roll on behalf of Tyke, if it's like a spell or something or some sort of thing there, and Huck, you'll roll on behalf of just the group if it's like a ritual, if it's like something that's like a bit of a spell, a bit of an item, a bit of everything. You know the way sometimes it's like stab with the thing, light the incense, like cut the blood. Rituals, rituals.
Yeah. And during the montage, I'll just go gather up some goats and stuff, just in case. We never need.
Yeah. What? No. Sacrifice the goat. And how long you take, it can be like a day, in which case it'll be really hard to see because you're just going to go and we nailed it on the first try. It could be a couple of days, it could be a week, but the DC will lower the longer you take. That's basically just kind of doing tests, gathering materials. Roughly speaking, in general, that the minimal cost of this through either like getting resources or food or just generally the minimal cost will be about 1,000 gold. And that's just covering like the entire project. However, that might go up if you fail and kind of something doesn't work, or it might go down if you're doing really, really well and you realize actually we can cut the diamond dust with something else to make it more effective. Okay. So if there's any questions before we kind of jump into answering my questions for you, let me know. And if there's anything you want to do before we kind of sort of join this montage train, let me know.
I guess Randy would also like to try, in between helping with the creation of the scry, to brew some potions that might help the crew.
Okay. Brew potions.
If I can find any side time to either talk to Randir or Goat, probably preferably about the cloak that I've purloined, the rags.
Yes. So the cloak. Have you put that on, or is it just kind of in your bag?
Yeah, I haven't put it on again, I don't think.
Cool.
Because we've only had the one night, and I was pretty wrecked. So yeah.
Nice. Iggy, you also have time, because some of it, like, it's not like you have to like sit and just waiting for this to happen. So you can do whatever you want as well, because there'll be bits and bobs.
Well, what I was planning to do is, obviously help in whatever way I can. I have gold. I also have quite a few diamonds because I took some for my possible revivify. So that might maybe I could use those. I did want to maybe ask Goat to have a look at some of the items that I have as well, and then I also want to write to my father and
Cool.
just kind of get a little tell him and ask him about the Moor demon that they have up there. Because I'm in my mind, I'm thinking like, is there some kind of like what is it, Godzilla versus that other big thing? I don't know, T-Rex,
King Kong.
Like a kaiju battle? Yeah.
Can we make the two big bads fight each other and then we win? Is like, I don't know.
You want to let them fight. Yeah.
yeah. And if they die, they die.
If he dies, he dies. Yes, good. 2 movie references in one plan. I love it.
That's famously, everyone always says that the real victors in like Godzilla versus Mothra is the city that they fight in. All the people around it, because they're all both fighting. Yeah, they're the real victors.
Yeah, I want to send another like more pain to my hometown. No, but I just want to update him on everything. Also, kind of warn him and that kind of thing. Anyway, so writing.
Cool.
Really that.
And we might bring Godzilla to the town to fight other Godzilla.
Yeah. Have you ever heard of fight fire with fire, Father? Yeah.
Yeah, I want to pitch 2000s Godzilla versus 1980 Godzilla and see what happens.
Well, you'll have to go deeper underground for that. That's the only thing.
Very good. Jamera, quite a good gag.
Oh,
Thank you.
that was only Jamera.
So, Arlington. Do you say Jamera what?
Yeah. Is this my general montage plan or just like?
Yeah, if there's any, and this doesn't have to be exhaustive. I'll remind you that you do have Tig with you. Tig knows teleportation circles, so the world is literally your oyster, as long as you can kind of be back in a week.
Right. So that's kind of what I was thinking.
Or however long it takes.
So my basic plan is, I think, having awoken to a high king's confidence, I guess. I basically want to try and like raise an army, like a physical army of people to help fight if this gets physical, because inevitably she's going to send trees or something at us. And if I basically want to use Tig's network to go back to places where we've made a name for ourselves and kind of like use any folklore tales of our like escapades or whatever and just try and like rise up the local militia or whatever, any like young would-be heroes or anything like that, or people who owe us favors. So like Defina and any of the pirates that are still in our favor, or just like any farmers with pitchforks, anything like that.
I have questions. What about anything you've done makes you think any of these people owe you favors?
Yeah.
Well, no, not less favors, more like legends that have like been hyped
like
up more than they may have been. So like, the heroes of whatever the fuck. Are the people who actually know us maybe won't actually help us. So maybe I'm not calling in on them. People who know us personally.
You know that, right?
Yeah, there's that town, but they're not. I mean, not really mad adventurers. I mean, I would say it's been like a year since maybe we did something with that town, max.
Yeah.
Legends and folklore is a bit hard to be shooting for at the moment, but
like I'm thinking the town. I'm terrible with town names. Like, I'm thinking the town where we disappeared for a couple of months, where we actually helped out. I think it was the one time we were actually helpful.
Hey, we're building a statue.
That's true.
And we helped out in Dree. We saved an orphanage.
Yeah.
Any of those orphans want to come join.
But even I'm thinking like if I could teleport around to like main cities and try and figure out if there is anyone who was like, oh, these guys seem pretty fucking cool. Like, the legend of the guys walking around with sparkly rhinestones on their capes and all that kind of stuff.
The legend of the Phoenix. Gotcha.
The bottle emporium that I used to work for, they'll probably want to help because they hate the Clockwork Orange. But the Clockwork Tangerine. Yeah, sorry.
Yeah, but they also hate. It's a bad book, bad movie. They're not a fan. Too many people were reading
not
the Bottle 4 and too many bottle accents. They don't like the hyper zoom. It reminds them of a bottle line too much.
I hate beer and I hate Stanley Kubrick. I don't understand either of them.
Cool. So your plan is like ally recruitment.
Yeah. And I want to like inspire not camaraderie, like people to follow us. What's the word I'm trying to think of? Like people, I want people to want to follow us rather than being like, paying people to follow. Like they're inspired by. Yeah.
Yeah. You want a cult following. You want to have a cult personality.
I want to. Do you know what? I want to cultivate a parasocial relationship with the entire network of Hibernia.
Nice.
Yeah.
Sorry, are you going to do this during the montage? Like you're going to run off to towns and?
I guess so.
This is our grand
plan.
Okay.
I'm going to build a social media brand where they feel like they know me personally and intimately, but they don't.
Right.
So I can manipulate that for my own gains.
Yeah, I get you. Cool. So that's sort of the general, and obviously hearing Arlington's last. If anyone wants to augment, like Iggy, if you have more stuff you want to do.
Just thinking maybe instead of like writing one letter to my dad, maybe I should go over and visit him. Maybe
you could go see him. That's correct. Yeah.
If Wes is doing like a tour, a TED Talk tour,
you're setting off on like a donkey. I'll see you in 6 months.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
Like one of those towns could be on Agla that you go to kind of drum up support.
So, yeah, right. If only one person can use this circle.
Oh no, you could all go. Yeah.
Oh, we don't have to like. I presumed we'd have to go with Tig to use these things.
Oh yeah, Tig would have to go as well, but like it's not like only one of you can go with. Like multiple,
So,
you could all go.
Yeah, we can do it like I go somewhere with him, and then he comes back, and I stay there and round up the troops, and then he brings someone else somewhere or something. We've unlocked fast travel. We can basically break the game now.
Troops would trust me in Onagla. There is a lot of youths looking for a call to adventure because their town is horrible and trying to murder them. So while I wouldn't be able to actually maybe get them on against Rua, I think I could like get Arlington to they trust.
I was going to go with Iggy. Other than that, just because she should have some support as well. And I was trying to think of anything else I would do anyway. Other than researching the Fae in general, or trying to go into the other thought I had was trying to actually go into the Fae, but I think it's a big risk because there's every chance I don't come back anywhere close to the
That is like so much potential for a win and infinite potential for death.
So I just bop into the Fae, and then I'll appear right at the moment that we fail, and the Fae lands on the normal place, and I'll be like, I'm here.
I don't know how I did it, but I'm back. Oh wait, the entire plane's back.
I finally did. Oh no!
I made my party disappear.
I'll head with Iggy first, thinking whilst thinking about any kind of. I need to get to the right area of the Fae anyway, and I'm in a bad wintry court area at present. So, hopefully, it's more summer courty. Definitely isn't in Iggy's demon haunted village. Let's go. Let's add this demon. So let's kill the demon and get more powerful. Yeah.
We're just gonna montage your entire backstory. We're just gonna
yawn. Montage straight through. No. Let's I'll head to Iggy. I'll head with Iggy because the Feywild is too. I'll head to Iggy and we'll talk to your bat.
Yeah. Cool. So we have a selection of stuff, and it mightn't happen in the order in which we want it to happen, because that's the fun of a montage. So we know, roughly speaking, what our plan is. Figure out an Iggy, scry, visit on Igla, identify a bunch of items, easy peasy. We can just kind of do that over dinner. Raise an army, brew some potions, and that's kind of. And there's more stuff as we're playing the game. If we realize that we've flown through this in half an hour or whatever, just start throwing things in. But one very important question. Sorry, you go ahead, Randy.
I was going to say that I'd realised that my montage is going to be very much me probably sitting in front of a microwave just looking at my watch while everybody else is doing some exciting things, and I'm just like, I wonder when this health potion is going to brew, and it's just like, demons! This flower just this pestle and mortar flower things does not really demons.
Needs more salt.
Raise an army.
The idea of Randy or lonely at home rattling around in a fucking hut.
I'm still gonna do it.
You and Goat being friends.
Chemical burn.
We should also just really looking through Goat's equipment, trying to see if there's anything useful.
Oh, I have his book of inventions.
Yeah,
Is
that's
it
true. You
full
can
of
look
like
through that if you want.
are all the diagrams like the IKEA guy, like really simple instructions, like put this here?
Probably, but they're probably not in linear order to the device that you want to build. You'll probably find that, like, every third page is one device. And
Oh God, that hypothetical makes me so anxious. Okay,
That all
plan.
sounds great. Yeah, you have a plan. You have everything you need. What I do need to know is how long you want to go for.
I'm thinking I'm gonna spend at least like I think I'm gonna spend like maybe 3 weeks raising an army. Like if we have a month, I think like between recruiting people and then going back and like seeing how their training progress is going on.
Don't we? Well, yeah, 3 weeks seems long. I'd say we've definitely used a week at least.
Well, no, I'm thinking 3 weeks specifically for the army part. Like I think that'll take longer to make sure it's something we can depend on. Whereas if it's like going to a place, being like, "Hey, fight for us," then disappearing and never coming back, we couldn't really rely on it. Whereas like not necessarily, I don't think we need to spend the 3 weeks brewing potions, that kind of thing.
Oh, you mean 3 weeks total, as in you started?
Yeah, like as in like do a quick run around, then help out at home, and then go back out and just check in or like give some pointers. And your sword arm's too low, you maggot, whatever.
Yeah, because I think the other thing is we do have a set mission, which is to try to find this like cauldron and these other things, and meet up with our crew and see what intel they got.
Okay. Well then.
So I wasn't expecting to.
But Arlington, you can say at the moment it's 3 weeks that you're spending on it, and that if we suddenly kind of and pull into non-montage mode, I know as a DM you're keeping tabs on that through letters, through correspondence. I might check in on you. So say we get like a week and a half, and we're like, let's stop there. Then I know that your project.
Yeah, it's kind of like checking in, and then maybe I'll stay a weekend or something just to keep an eye on people. But yeah.
And if Tyke stays with you, then you'll be able to do those little hops. If he stays with you. I don't see him going anywhere.
No, I'm thinking it should be fine.
World's ending. I'm off.
He can drop me off on the Friday and pick me up first thing on the Monday or whatever, so I'm back in time. Yeah.
Cool. Grant. So you're spending 3 weeks. I was thinking more that as a group you'd collectively pick a time, but I'm happy for that to be like a long project running in the background. Everyone else, what are you thinking?
I mean, I feel like the trip to chat to my dad shouldn't take that long, but like I know we want to give enough time that the scree thing works. What do you reckon? Like it's like 5 days? Is that too? I also feel like time is precious. What do you think?
Yeah, it's hard to say. I mean, yeah, the scrying thing, we won't have that anyway. For let's say, I was thinking maybe it'd take a week or 5 days at least to kind of try to bash that together. I don't actually think the money's a problem because I just realized we've
got loads of cash. We're flush.
I have 100 platinum, so a grand.
We're flush.
It's preposterous. So,
you want to buy some beer?
No.
I didn't know that you guys were rich.
They have enough money to start a whole beer empire.
And I'm the only one who passed tasting your beer, if I recall correctly.
I'm enjoying the inversion of Huck being bothered constantly by someone to be like, "Hey, want to do this thing? Want to do this thing that I like?"
I don't know if I like this new guy.
Be your best friend.
What was I saying? Yeah, my new best friend. Yeah, I do like he's my new best friend. It's true. Yeah, go to see your dad. I think the scry thing should probably take at least 5 days. Probably. I mean, like how long it's going to take? I don't think the money's the issue though. So I think you're right there. Do we have to? Is there anything else we can do? How long is it going to take us to get to Teleport Circle to get to the Ossory? Would you say?
Oh, to the Kingdom of Ossory, you wouldn't even have to teleport. It's like half a day's ride.
Ossory was like
there is also no circle there.
Within
there's no. I thought we were teleporting there because there was a circle there.
Sorry, you're 100% right. You were teleporting there because there's a circle there. You missed the circle. So you could teleport there, but it would be a waste of like a day's doing something in the world when it's
no. In my head, when we said we were teleporting, I figured, we're obviously going to Ossory and using their teleport circle to do that. Is there a way of teleporting without the circles?
That's actually a really good plan. Sorry, I hadn't thought about that. That they have a circle that you could kind of go from and
we could
cut down on time. Yeah.
If they're amenable to being a kind of wolfy base camp teleport-wise, And we haven't met them, so that's presumptuous. But I've made friends with everyone else.
Randier's met them.
So 3 of us are there. Oh no, well, Randy has to make the spells, but
it's a decent base camp because potentially the Kingdom of Ossory are inclined to be on our side rather than the Fae side. I don't know why they're wolves.
Would we know in general folklore, I guess, what are werewolves and fae creatures like? Do they get on historically, or is that unknown?
Well, ever since one of the Fae fell in love with a high schooler, and then a band of werewolves was. No, you don't. You can make a nature check, but
if I had to guess of any relation, would the Kingdom of Ossory be cursed? Is there anything like were they cursed to be werewolves, potentially by a Fae? Are they people who?
I'll make a nature check and we can find out. But I'm doing this because I'm pretty sure. Actually, no, Randy's pretty good at nature. He's got an intelligence, I think. But fuck it, I'm the one asking.
I've got advantage on it, but I'm not great.
Well, you can all relax because I got a 9.
Oh. How about I have a go?
I got a +4.
It's hard to tell. You don't know, and you don't know the kingdom well enough to know their story. But it is a really good idea because using their teleportation circle will take a little bit of taxation off tying. Really great points. You'll have to go there.
I think that's worth it. I think it's a more secure base of operations as well, if nothing else. And also, I couldn't hurt to bolster the army with werewolves.
Hey Ben, am I allowed to have advantage on nature rolls in this particular instance? I generally do, I think. I lost him. No.
He's back.
Oh.
Well, Randy rolled there, and it makes more sense for the werewolves, I suppose.
I shouldn't have asked him a question.
Oh no, we've lost him. So
you're back. Nope.
He is back.
Me?
He's catching up.
Yeah.
Give him a second.
I'm back.
Do I have advantage on a nature roll? That's the question.
You do, but you don't need to do one.
Oh, okay. Great.
Don't forget to like and subscribe on YouTube if you haven't already, and follow us on any of our podcast platforms.
What I might do is...
I think he's back.
Yeah, I think we're back. I think I am... this might be a good enough point to do a little break, but just before we do, my internet holds out. I know problems. So we're saying 5 days, but I'll count that plus a couple of days in that week because Iggy, I doubt you want to go see your dad while Rua can still scry on you.
Yeah,
that was
what I was trying to say as well. Yeah, we should wait at least until it's made before we do that. So now we have to figure out how long it's going to take. But if it's Ossory's right there, then you don't have to factor anything in. So it's 5 days. If there's anything we want to do, I guess
5 days with a 2-day buffer at the end to go to Onara.
All right. Well, then can I have some time to negotiate with the Kingdom of Ossory that we use them as a kind of base of operations?
Oh yeah. We'll jump into that because that's kind of that's more crucial than montage because that's like a whole base thing. So we'll do that. So we're going to say it's 5 days is the kind of working time in the scry. So that's where we're going to set the DC on that. But a week to kind of come out of this time warp montage thing.
Yeah.
So just before you do that, Goat turns to you and goes, well, if you're going to the Kingdom of Ossory, maybe I'll get my wagon from Sleeve Gem, where I was rudely taken away from, and I'll be back in time for the final important steps and to do the stuff and the things. But like, I can't be doing stuff without the materials that you need to tinker away, so I'll go if that's. And he's stepping towards the trees, thinking like,
yeah. We should probably all go along for that one.
Well, it's quite far away, and you have all this planning, the potions and the items and I'll literally just be there and I'll be back.
I'm gonna clamp. Oh,
just a little finger against his lips. Yeah. Clear. Oh, sorry. Go on. I'm sorry. Did you stop him?
Okay. I'm gonna clamp both hands on Goat's shoulders, look him dead in the eye, and just kind of like bristle up my fur and be like,
My friend, if you wish to escape and not return, that is your prerogative. You are not a prisoner here, much as you might believe you are. But know that the worlds are ending, and if you don't come back, it'll probably look pretty bad for business. And you don't want to disappoint this young lady. And I turn around and point him at Iggy. And I'm like gesturing that she should make like a convincing sad face or something.
Already there, yeah. There's bubbles of liquid in the eyes.
Because I think Arlington's learned that he is never good at convincing people, but historically Iggy's quite good at convincing people. She's got a more likable face than he does.
Yeah, I want to sell
better performance check overall. So
Yeah, that's so. We'll just need a performance check.
Performance check. Oh, 27.
hey,
That was the right decision. I have a -1 to performance, so.
Well, yeah.
Jesus Christ, 27.
Yeah,
okay.
Nice. Goes. No. I promise you, I am not trying to. Like, you don't have to tell me the world's ending every time you need me to do something. I do want to help. I just don't want to be doing it on your terms. I just need to go get my stuff. And tell you what, how about I come to the Kingdom of Ossory? I use their teleportation circle. I get my stuff and I come back because you can't be doing anything with just these.
Wonderful.
And he
That
holds
sounds
up
like a-
his
that sounds like a
spindly
wonderful
little
plan.
kobold.
Everyone wins. with that.
All right.
And hey, goat, don't forget, world's ending. Don't forget it.
I'll kill you.
Okay. With the plan in action, the general moving parts, which some of them might work, some of them mightn't. It's just we know, like, collectively as a TNT group, we've planned out what we kind of wish best case scenario is. We cut immediately to the end of the montage and we see Huck's punks in the banquet halls of the Kingdom of Ossory. They're surrounded by snarling werewolves circling the party with blood dripping from their fangs. The banquet doors burst open and we see a band of Fenia warriors brandishing torches and silver blades. But hold on, sorry, I'm getting ahead of myself. That's at the end. So let's start at the beginning of the montage right after this break.
Oh, ballsy
So we're
DM move.
back.
Very good.
All right.
Yeah. We'll be back in about 15 minutes. We'll see you then.
Or immediately.
Break us, Paul.
It'll be unceremonious.
Oh, you're counting 2, 3. All right.
Yeah, sorry. Welcome back. I'm also all blurry now. What
I also
what
only heard 3. It's like, okay.
a
Yeah,
time to be
we usually do a
alive.
countdown. While Paul deblurs himself, I'll explain what happened there. We usually count down, but Paul was like 1, 2, 3. I was
It's
like, what's he
because
counting up to?
Okay, well, I deblur myself. The problem was that the break animation like went off, so it was just a blank screen, which wasn't a great visual for the audience.
What he's
Oh,
actually
fair.
saying though is talk to the hand.
Yeah.
Son of a bitch.
Paul, I didn't realize
I'd,
you were trying to focus your camera. I thought you were just like about to fall out of your chair.
Welcome back to Homebrew. If this is your first part 2, don't worry. Like, we should clarify that we don't do we don't just do like loads more beers. Do beers. That's like we don't just drink loads more
Doing
beers.
beer, man. Doing beer on Tuesday.
But usually by this part of the show, everyone's a bit more relaxed, and anything we have been drinking just nicely kicks in. So, is there anything we need to chat about before we jump in?
Real quick, it's not like a show pertinent thing, but chat was asking Keelan for his review on the coconut and kiwi sour.
Oh yeah. Okay. Well, it's delicious. It might be the fact that it's 6%, and I drank it quite quickly as my first drink, but I'd happily drink a lot more of this. It's a shame it's a limited edition, so I don't know. I'm definitely going to buy a few more when I can. As a sour goes, it's not citrusy because it's kiwi, which might be a citrus, I guess, but it's very light anyway. It's quite like kiwi in its sourness, and I wouldn't have ever said kiwi was that sour before. So it's just really drinkable. Perfect in the summer, I would say, if you like.
So I'm dying to try it. Really want to give it a go.
That's it.
And the ice cream one is pretty weird. End of review.
Lucy, your Heineken 00? Has that?
No, I was going to say that I was wondering if white wine, if Chardonnay and Red Bull is good. It's fucking delicious. So next time you're at a petrol station,
I would have thought that would be rank.
Yeah.
I highly recommend. I mean, it's the tropical Red Bull, to be clear. But
Okay, that makes much more sense.
the next wine cocktail is with Monster, though, so I don't know how that's going to go. But I was hoping this might be more useful for us. Anyway.
Well, look, we cater to all tastes.
The only time I've ever heard Monster referred in the context of a cocktail, the other words were cocaine and heroin. So, joy.
That's her after.
Yeah, that's a different show. Shoot 'em up, D&D.
Yeah, this is yeah.
Right, let's play some Dungeons and Dragons. I think
you
on the road to the Kingdom of Ossory. As you make your way there, Kai comes up beside yourself, Iggy, and goes, "Well, Iggy, Ignatius, Miss O'Fla, whatever. Given that the whole procedure or the ritual or whatever is going to be happening to yourself, we should probably let you decide what you want to do."
In what sense?
Well, if we're going to protect you against divination, there are a couple of ways, I suppose.
Oh, yes.
To do that, you could use abjuration. That's a school of magic. You see, abjuration is a subsection of arcana, and that would be kind of protective spells. So, like, it'd be simple enough, but it mightn't actually be that successful. It's a lower risk, low reward. But then there'd also, like, I've been thinking maybe transmutation. Like if you think about scrying, they're trying to scry on a particular person or an essence of person. And if we could kind of change your very being, there'd be nothing to anchor it to. So that you could sort of unravel your entire existence and then reweave you into something entirely new.
Oh, that seems quite permanent. I was wondering, and maybe I have no idea how this could work, but I had an idea that if this is possible, in the sense that if when Mummy comes and tries to see what I'm up to, would there be a way to sort of to show her something else? And I was thinking I could, and I have some sketches. I have many sketches of this, of like just happy childhood memories that I have. And maybe she could, when she tries to see what I'm thinking, she just sees me like as a child and all these things that she missed out on. I have many sketches. And so that maybe she thinks, so she'll understand why I'm doing this, is that I'm just trying to, remind her of our relationship, but also it's impenetrable in some way.
That is the most vindictive way of getting back at an absentee like parent, by essentially going, I wonder what they're doing right now, and then just playing nice things of things that they missed in a loop.
Yeah. Just send pictures of birthdays they missed. Like, yeah.
I mean, I think it's a great suggestion. I hope this is what we can do.
Like we know we're probably not as strong as Rua. We know we're not as magically powerful as Rua. Let's emotionally like blackmail this woman.
Yeah.
I mean, I think
it's a great plan.
Yeah, I mean, it could work. You never know.
But because I don't necessarily want to untangle, because I'm thinking my connection to her might be of some use, and so I don't want to.
But to clarify, I don't mean like untangled. Like you wouldn't be coming back as like a kobold or whatever. No offense, God. But you just like we just maybe I don't know the specifics. We have to look into it, obviously. But just take like what you're saying there could actually work. That we kind of take a moment or a section or a sliver of your mind and just sort of detach it from you as a core sort of anchor to your essence and fill it with these. Well, if we mixed a bit of abjuration with a bit of transmutation and a bit of illusory magic, you could almost create like a prism of your memories, and then fill it with your.
I have these sketches, some of which I could have done with that chalk, and they're like kind of dancing and like going around. Like, I'm hoping that maybe I could help in some way for being able to the illusionary aspect. I don't know if that's possible.
This is it. Between yourself and I feel embarrassed now. I didn't realize you were a practitioner of the arcane arts. I thought you were just I didn't know. No one had said that what you were into. So, but
was Tig just under the impression that Iggy was just our regular friend that we brought along?
Just
those nice pictures.
Yeah.
Just she was the only one of us that was able to drive, so we brought her along.
Yeah.
She's actually very capable. We don't let her do things.
Well, she saved all those orphans.
Yeah, the illusions, and maybe my transmutation, and then around here, and go to probably know a bit of abjuration, the protective stuff. I'd imagine. I can't speak for them, but combine it all into some super powerful. Brilliant, Iggy. If we really wanted to, we could even, with enough sort of reflective magic, I suppose. If we were thinking of trapping this thing, she could scry on you and maybe get lost in the memories. Just to say, like, bouncing around in there for a while. It might just stun her for a couple of hours, and then she'd be like, "Oh, well, I won't be doing that again," because like a rabbit hole, just click.
Feed her a lot of drugs and give her like a kaleidoscope and watch her trip out.
But essence is such, Arlington, the amount of drugs you've been talking about recently. Like, what has happened to you, boy?
We're gonna Dr. Sleep her.
Unfortunately,
I got cool, Papa. That's what happened. I got cool. I hung out with some cool people.
We've let him read any book he finds. That's the problem.
We gave him a lot of things and we told him they were drugs, but they definitely weren't.
All those books on drugs. They're gateway.
This is called 8 hours sleep. Oh, it's so good.
Gave him one of those like 48-hour little energy shots and then a few cans of beer and told him he's doing beer.
But that sounds like a plan, Iggy. We'll work towards that and see if we can, find a way to.
I'm thinking maybe Ash's. Ash gave me that paintbrush. It was like an instrument of illusions. I don't know if that could help, because it was from one of Rua's friends. It was from a fae. Will that help in any way? I don't know. But yeah, I definitely.
Everything well.
My goal is to emotionally manipulate her, so get her to enjoy these memories. Some of them could have her in them, and to really try and like cement, to try and see if she has a soul. Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Well,
play on the emotional nature of a fae, which they're quite highly emotionally charged, from like a child almost, like tantrum one moment, captivated the next, and like furiously angry, and then forgives you in a second. That kind of stuff.
I could try to imbue it with some I could help with wild magic in some way, perhaps, or some fae. Make it feel like the fae. Maybe she'll go in.
Well, I think Hook, like when we get to the thing, everyone's going to be helping in their own way. So we'll have a think about what we what we might contribute, and in your case, your wild, unpredictable, chaotic nuclear magic. In my case, my controlled, considered, very precise, wizardry.
Which will be more useful.
That is the kindest way to tell you to go play Jackson.
Tell them to go play Jax.
I see what you're saying. You need, a lot of wild magic. It'll be great. Extra wild magic, because no pain, no gain. Nothing ventured, nothing gained, and chaos is the best place to venture.
Depends on your age. High risk, high reward is only for certain people of a certain age, because then you get good returns on those things, and then you can slowly go to, wait a minute, we're not talking about interest.
I'm cool, so I'm basically a mortal, probably.
You rock up to the outskirts of the Kingdom of Ossory. Rander, you recognize this. You've been here before, as has Goat, but I don't need to describe it for him. He lives in my brain. So for the other players, you go through a sort of...
I thought that you were going to take that as a get out of jail for not having to describe the scene. It's like, you've been there. We don't have to describe how it looks. You walk in.
No, for everyone else.
Why doesn't Arlington tell everyone what it looks like?
For everyone else, it's a hillside sort of village town, and there is farmlands leading up to a wooden fortification around a stone castle. It's essentially that. And inside the fortification, there's a couple of huts and houses, outside a couple of farms, and then in the center of this hill, a castle, which is ultimately the Kingdom of Ossory. You walk up, and for the sake of brevity and for the sake of kicking into this montage, Rander, you're good friends with the people here. You know the king, who I am just looking up because I don't know the king. You know King Feradoc MacDucht and his brother Lynach Feilad. And they...
Sorry,
they
what's the king's name?
The king's name is Feradoc MacDucht, I'll put it in chat. And his brother is Lynach Feilad. This is the king. Dun, 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 dun. Real names from real mythology. Yeah, that's right. We haven't used beers, but we've used our history.
Is there a person whose second name is Feilad?
Yeah, I just got that too.
That's a great...
I'm glad I didn't give any answers earlier about whether they're Fey or not.
Sure, I'm a Feilad, like, yeah.
No,
definitely based on an actual person who was made up by, like, who were you hanging out with? Feradoc Feilad is who it was.
To avoid the trolls, I'm pronouncing it Feilad because it's funny. Technically speaking, it's probably Fálad in Irish because there's a Fálad over the A and stuff. So
just make sure I've got my notes right. King Feradoc Feilad and Lynach Beos?
No. King Feradoc MacDucht and his brother Lynach Feilad.
MacDucht, grand. Okay, I got
that. Duach. Are you saying like Duach?
Yeah. Do walk, walk, walk. You do walk, walk.
Yeah.
I call him Duck.
Yeah. So Scrooge McDuach. Got it.
Yeah.
Wait a minute, that's my job.
Feradoc MacDuach and Feilad. Yeah, sound.
You walk in, they welcome you.
I read all these
more
things
than happy to
phonetically
have you
anyway,
here.
so.
Yeah. It's like if you look up the Kingdom of Ossory, you'll find them. If you go to your local Wikipedia or library, and you will find these people. You're welcomed in with open paws. They set out a spread for you, and honestly, they do not mind you using the teleportation circle. They're just happy to have visitors. It is a little bit dusty. They did
because Randy's been at work all day, and they've been at home scratching at the door.
Super excited to see him.
Right. Okay. Yeah.
I mean,
how long's it been? Like
they haven't
5
been
minutes?
out all day.
50 months? Who knows? Our sense of time isn't permanent.
We just met you, and we love you.
You're welcomed in. You're given bed and board, all that kind of stuff. You're given access to the teleportation circle. It doesn't take any rolls. There's no need. Rander, you did all that work in the last session. Why roll twice for something you got once? And you can essentially call this place your home base for the foreseeable future. They're just happy to have people there.
Rander also just gets the crew together and just be like, oh yeah, okay. So just so you guys know, try not to make any kind of like things to bones or to any kind of things because they will jump on you, like or treats or anything like that. Just try to keep it low.
Wait, so don't mention bones?
Yeah, don't too loudly. Like don't be like this good meat bone, or any kind of
Right,
dog
okay,
related
okay,
kind of
all right.
things that will get them excited because they'll jump on it.
Can we mention BATH?
I guess.
Probably better not to risk it, to be honest. Also, can they spell?
That's
Because
why
they're not children, I've noticed.
well, you know what, they tend to recognize the word.
Are they? This is a stupid question. We know they're werewolves because we're real people looking at a fictional story. Are they visibly werewolves, or are they like people that we just know could potentially become wolf people?
Yeah, I mean, I'll ask Randir. Did you think you might have given a heads up to Hux Punks that
Oh shit! Yeah, you might not
kind
have
of,
told us they're werewolves.
what would you call it, like lobo tendencies or lupine? What's the
Lupine?
wolfy tendencies?
I guess not, because
Okay.
like I think at the kind of emergency kind of like let's go here kind of thing. I don't think he would have been overly kind of descriptive of like he would have just been like it's a place we can hide out. He wouldn't have been like, oh yeah, by the way, all of the. I think just there would probably maybe a hint of what these guys kind of might be behavioral.
Wait, so you're warning us about the bones and all that kind of stuff without telling us that they're werewolves? So we just think they're fucking weird people.
Yeah.
Right, you've led us into a village of cannibals. Cool.
Like, well, don't.
Not promising anything, but if they all turn into wolves around me, I might not be able to not just immediately attack. So it's up to you.
Yeah, like I think he did say that they're all friends. He was just like this place is a friend. This place is an ally. So I don't think even if they did turn into wolves, I'm hoping that you trust Randir's kind of like they are friends.
They're very protective, very loyal friends. You're looking around Arlington and for the rest of the party because you are now in their sort of open hallway. The way I'm picturing it, and this is very much a DM's cheat, is like a Jarl's house in Skyrim. So you got your table and then the seats, and then other stuff to the side.
100% thinking Skyrim Village as well. I was thinking specifically this is some Whiterun shit. Yeah,
exactly that. That's kind of where we are in the world. But like Irish it up in your imaginations. You do the work, and you see that they're all very strong looking. It's like given your plan to find an army, this group of people, a mix of men and women. You see there are kind of younger children running about. And you did pass a pack of farmers on the way in. They're all very strong looking. They've thick, broad shoulders. The king himself has kind of big, bushy whiskers. They all seem to sport this sort of mustache and beard, and they are hairy for people.
Is that why we refer to them as a pack of farmers?
Yeah, that'd be white. Yeah. Keen eyes, and you do notice like along the walls, like the emblems in the decor here is a direwolf on checked black and gold. So that's their sort of family sigil, emblem.
coat of arms.
And they do seem to, like, when you whisper, you did notice when Randy was sort of saying these things to a side, you did notice some of them did kind of just stop and kind of like cock ahead. Just, you got the feeling that they were listening kind of, but you're not too sure.
They misheard us saying walk, right?
Yeah, exactly. And when you did come in, a few of them in the background were just kind of like tapping their feet happily to see you.
Just trotting behind.
And going spinning in circles for some reason.
Don't rattle like the coins in your pockets or anything. They might think that's your keys are getting ready to leave.
Notice, chat, that the two most vocal people in this chat are the two men who have recently adopted dogs. And they do this adorable thing, and it's very, very cute.
No word of a lie. I was like, should we do homebrew tonight? Or will I hang out with my dog? But
if there's ever been a harder sell to check out our Discord, Ben and Paul have both been posting photos of their dogs, and they're both adorable.
And we're in a dog town.
We're in a dog town. We are the lords of Dogtown.
Right, what you know. Okay, let's jump into this montage because it's been an hour and 40 minutes of me promising you fun and delivering you nothing but dog pictures.
Ben, you've been running a campaign for 2 years. That's D&D.
Yeah. As I say, yeah, it's been a long time. I mean, I've been waiting for the fun since the start.
Yeah, I know. All right. Iggy, roll a D4.
Oh God.
This isn't fun.
I was like, wait, where are the time? 2-4. Okay, sorry. What? That's a 1.
Nice. So what I've done is I've numbered you 1, 2, 3, 4, Randir, Hook, Iggy, Arlington, to see in which order we'll do your montage stuff.
Cool.
So, Randir, your first thing was brewing a lot of potions.
Yes.
So you need to gather some materials. You need to set up a workspace, that kind of thing. So how do you feel like we could say a couple of days in, you've done some of that? What are we seeing Randir up to?
Well, he's got Keggy, who's also his kind of like alchemist servant, and also he's got brewing supplies and alchemist sets and stuff. So like he's essentially brewing a few things at the same time. Also with the supplies in the town, he's also able to buy some stuff. I was hoping, because of our level, that I'd be able to.
Yeah, do you have anything in mind? I can also go to a random potion generator.
Yeah, the potion of fire giant strength. To one of those for Arlington.
Okay.
Which is, I'd also like to do a potion of heroism for Iggy and also for.
What are you saying? And I need a potion of heroism.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wait, sorry. What was the potion for me?
The potion of fire giant strength increases
Fire giant's wrath.
No, just potion of fire giant strength.
Giant strength, right? Okay.
And increases your strength score to 25.
Ooh.
Ooh.
Where have you been on my campaign?
Potion of heroism will give a 10 temporary hit points for 1 hour, and will also give them the effect of bless.
Oh.
Nice. That's cool.
Holy shit! Okay. Cool.
No, you don't have these yet. We're going to see how successful.
I know, but still, potentially, if any of these work, that's fucking handy.
Can we refer to the bless effects as the bless effects?
Yeah.
And then I also want to brew probably 4 brew potions of superior healing.
Not a bad shout.
Okay. 4 superiors. You got it.
Now all of these are rare, so but they are within my level.
Yeah, that's fine. And you have time.
Everything he crafts tastes awful, so.
Yeah, that is the only problem.
So you might even want to drink them.
It's not worth it. I will be a hero. I'll be a sidekick.
Superior healing potion. You only have to drink a shot of it. I can't.
Too bad. And his branding is so ugly. I can't do it.
If it can help Paul at all.
It's so godly.
Use the can of the garden brewery to help him brew. That helps.
That really does help. Wow, nice. Yeah, you set up a little garden brewery in the farmyard.
Oh, that's so nice.
Nice.
That's really cool.
Can I
already forgot about the fucking beer names.
Destroys all of the crops.
Yeah, don't.
So, Randir, there's a couple of things you need for these potions to brew them. The superiors are fine. You have enough to kind of make those, but I do want you to roll a D20 and add your brewing skills. I don't know what those would be, but I think it's like your proficiency with brewing and maybe
I presume is intellect Randir's main stat?
Yes.
Yeah.
Huh.
Well, most craft breweries are, scientists at heart, chemists.
It's true. They don't use charisma.
Yeah, that's the only thing. I haven't found a way of actually my proficiency. Is it so? It's just my proficiency bonus, and that's it.
No, let's. It has to be a bit more than that. So, in lieu of looking it up, and let's go D20 plus proficiency, which is probably like 3 or 4. It's the same across the board. It's just a thing, and your intelligence modifier or your medicine, whichever one's higher.
Oh yeah, medicine. Good check.
Yeah, good check.
I'll probably do my intel.
Nice. Put that book down, nerd. We don't need your rules here.
I'm more just curious, and also I haven't opened this book in months. There we
I
go.
saw a bat fly out.
Yeah.
It's been so long from in-person
I was
games.
thinking, it was like, I bought this mostly because the cover is so fucking cool, and I was like, I haven't even. No, tell a lie. I opened when we did like a charity stream, and I was playing a Warforged, but I'm now curious. No, I specifically haven't looked up Artificer stuff because I knew Paul was playing one. I'm like, mystery, cool.
Yeah, the alchemy, the alchemist one is like is probably, I only chose it because of the setting in their story kind of thing. There is another artificer that I really love to try out. I rolled a 24 altogether.
Wunderbar, which is not only a great success, but also the name of the beer I'm pouring. Wunderbar. Good job. Yeah, you get all 4.
Roll a 16.
Nice.
Yes,
that's for the healing.
So I was just checking it. Yeah, that's all 4 superior healing potions. Easy peasy lemon squeezy with the Garden Brewery, your skills. It is very successful. However, what I do need you to know is that in order to make the potions of heroism, you're going to need to find some fresh bubbles. Who knows where they are? And you do need a fingernail of fire giant strength for the fireman. So I want you just to roll a d20.
I have a can that's full of bubbles.
I got 18.
18.
That's nice.
All right. We throughout the course of your process to find these materials, Randir, we see a couple of days later, towards the end of the montage, Hux Punks all dressed in black. They all have their heads bowed down in respect for you're all at a funeral for cats. You're standing on a hillside, all looking quite stoic, as a row of cats are walking up to the king of cats and grieving one of his court and paying their respects. As you approach the king of cats, Randir, what do you say?
The funeral, right?
What's happening? No.
That is the first thing you say at a funeral.
Yeah. Why frowning? This is a funeral.
The only way it could have gone better is if you said, "Well, who died?"
Yeah.
No, you could have said, "Cat got your tongue," and walked off.
That's actually very insensitive to most cat people. They're not.
I was going to say, it's just like, I thought cats had 9 lives. No, I'd just be sorry for your loss.
So the entire time during this very moving funeral, all these jokes are going through your heads. You're trying to keep giggles in. It's very disrespectful. But you write and say, sorry for your loss. Roll a... It feels weird to do persuasion. What are you trying to do? Persuade them that you're sorry?
Yeah.
Just roll a general.
It's performance. If he's lying,
Can I persuade?
Like a psychopath trying to convince someone that they're feeling an emotion.
I'd be happy with
Yeah.
that.
Okay, yeah, sure.
I have a +5.
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah, roll persuasion.
That's 20 altogether with the
20. Yeah, yeah. We see Hux Punks leaving this area. Rander, you have tucked into your pocket a fingernail of a giant, and the foam and bubbles you were looking for was the frothy foam of a cat when they get their whiskers wet, you know, and they get their, like when they drink water and there's like little bubbles and water on their whiskers and they go and they sort of like make water about their face. You know cats, right?
Does anyone?
Can you tell I only know dogs?
Has anyone ever seen that?
My cat used to do that, but my cat was old and drilled a lot, so I don't know if it was just my old cat who drilled a lot. But anyway, you were looking for the bubbles of a cat, and you got them. Good job.
Cool.
You almost didn't. Right, I need you to roll a d4.
Cool. Pyramid scheme 4.
4. That is Arlington. Arlington, you're looking to raise an army.
Yeah.
All right, on the map, where to first?
I think I'm going to check out Ossory. If you're saying like there was a lot of fairly hardy looking folk around here, I think before I start taking teleportation circles to far off lands, I think I'm going to do a quick scout around in Ossory and try and recruit some werewolves. I mean, very strong wolf-ish people that I'm aware of.
The wolves you're aware of. Yeah, I get you.
Yeah. I didn't even, that was completely accidental, but I'll take it. So I think Arlington is like aggressively ignorant of the fact that these are clearly werewolves. Like I think the people are maybe dropping hints that it's like, oh, you know, this is a pretty doggone difficult or whatever. I'm like, yes, this is very hard. Like I'm aggressively ignorant of this.
Right.
But I think I've
barking up the wrong tree.
Yeah. He's just like, yes, what a strange turn of phrase. Okay. Like he's just has no fucking clue. People are trying to allude that we're all werewolves.
Yeah, we're wolves.
Werewolves.
Me too, buddy.
Oh, see you later.
Yeah, you shouldn't say that. I always think of myself as a wolf, you know?
But I think so for every city that Arlington goes to, I'm going to try and adhere to a 4-step plan. I'm going to go through scouting, so like looking for potential recruits, gathering, actually assembling them, and sort of like, you know, if you would stand up against your oppressors, you know, meet here at whatever time. Inspiring, and I'm going to try and harness my High King mindset and try and like rally the troops, and then instructing. And I'm going to use Grud's time in the Dirty Bitch Boys, where he was sort of like a personal trainer. I'm going to set up a plan for them to like bulk up over the 3 weeks that we've got. And the basic plan that I'm going to use is the super bro split. So on Mondays and Tuesdays, they work arms and shoulders, and then Thursdays and Fridays, they work legs. And that's sort of the build that I want them to go for. So I want them to be as strong as possible. There's no technique. It's just strength and bulk.
It's not 3 leg weeks.
No, it's not 3. No, because it needs to be everything, you know?
Yeah.
You know, in this world, people neglect arms and they focus on legs. No, boys, you never skip arm day.
Nice.
Yeah, but for the werewolf people, it's 2 sets of leg days.
That's true, actually. Yeah, they separate them. Yeah, you're right.
Well, if they work their arms when in human form, then when they're in wolf form, it's like,
muscle
sweet.
Groups? Do they have to work at different? Like, are they going to transform into wolves and be just real skinny, like starved dogs?
I'm actually stronger as a human man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do not freak out and go into wolf form. Please stay in your human form. You're more balanced. Your core is stronger.
Nice. That's a great plan. Really, really good. So you're starting with the Kingdom of Ossory. So let's say one night at one of the feasts, it's a bit of a dog's dinner. Again, it's not dropping for you, Arlington. You sidle up to the king. And he goes, well, hello, Arlington. I'm the king.
Does he talk like a dog? And I still have no idea.
What do you mean? This is how I always sound.
Yes.
Well, you sound very similar. We're hairy.
You've got a very good voice, I have to say.
And what could I do for you, Arlington?
Well, I don't know if Randy has mentioned it too, but we're sort of looking to fight back the apocalypse, and I'm looking for any able-bodied men that are willing to fight the good fight against a sort of archfey terrible person who might kill everyone. Sort of thing.
Well, hold on. There's an archfey trying to kill, and it's the end of the world. And when is this happening?
It's about a month away, so it's sort of like a jam-packed schedule.
Okay. Well, I'm glad you brought this to me and didn't spread it around the camp, because you might startle some of the.
Yes, I knew I should have come straight to you and not started rousing about town. That was my initial plan.
Well, yes. So the world is ending in a month.
Well, no. Tell you what, it's all about how you market it, I suppose. I'm so used to living in a doom and gloom sort of mindset. To be honest, there is an archfey threatening our existence, and to be honest, I don't think anyone really wants to acquiesce their territory to her. So, if you imagine someone's come into your land, they're not going to kick you out of here. They're going to try.
Oh, I see. And then how is she? Why and how and who and what?
Not entirely sure. Just know that she is, to be honest. That's all you really need. All any of us really need to know. It's basically, if you imagine, all we know is there's a very trying physical task coming, and specifically we don't know what. So all we can do is get everyone as in as strong a shape as possible, so that when whatever comes, we're as ready as we can be. Because if it turns out to be a triathlon, we can run it. If it turns out to be just a bunch of push-ups, we can lift it. And if it turns out to be sitting on the couch, well, that's nice too. Does that make sense?
Right. You know, for part of it, just another one of the members of the court walked by, and you know, the king was listening, but definitely laser focused on just watching this member of the court go by for a while. And then back to you. You know, muscles went rigid for a second, and then
do I recognize the member of the court?
It's just his wife.
Okay. Oh, that's nice. Still, after all these years, that's nice.
Yeah. Well. Okay.
I want to highlight. I'm not trying to steal anyone. Will be purely a voluntary thing, and I'm not trying to incite a panic. I'm just sort of anyone who's maybe someone who's trained in any way and isn't, you know, getting to test their skills as much as they might like. I'm not trying to coerce anyone.
If you don't mind me asking, where is this happening?
That's an excellent question. We're working that out. Basically, details are. My friend Ignatius over at the other end of the table has raised her hand. Hello, Iggy.
I'm just saying, not in character. Did we not kind of figure out from that map where like all the energy was focused? I thought we were saying that was where.
Yes, we did. Then I say that.
There's also the chance, if we're just talking, that it is actually everywhere. It's happening everywhere at the same time.
I was kind of under the impression like
I'm not.
There was going to be like an event there, but like if there's a war, we don't know where it would be. But that makes much more sense. Let's go with that.
But I'm not there, so if I wasn't supposed to say that, I was just thinking. I think I
was.
was.
No. I mean,
you're a group. Yeah.
There's good and there's evil metagaming. Good metagaming gets bad players on track.
Yeah. Also, this is metagaming where, for the people in the podcast, Lucy actually raised her hand.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, my friend over there.
Yeah, that was trying to be.
Oh yeah, I wasn't putting Lucy on the spot. Hey, can someone tell me what I'm supposed to say here?
Yeah. Here, Lucy says she knows. Iggy, you the answers.
Yeah, you tell him where you think the ritual is going down, which is very much clearly marked on the map once you got all the roads there. And he goes, oh, that's very close. Oh shit. Okay. Can I think on this, and I'll let you know how you can persuade. There's a certain technique for my men and my army that you could use to encourage good behavior.
Would be very appreciated.
But I'll think on it, Arlington, and I'll tell you, it's just very effective advice, and I wouldn't want you taking those secrets and using them to, you could completely topple our kingdom, to be honest.
Oh, well, I'm not entirely sure what benefit I would gain from that.
You would gain a kingdom. It's the best kingdom ever.
I have no interest in that. No, I mean, look at the clothes I'm wearing. I don't like fancy things.
Okay, well, I'll think about it.
Absolutely, Chick. Well, take as long as you need, but do also bear in mind it's in a month and we need to sort of train everyone up. So don't take too long, And I'm trying to recruit a few different people. How long do you think you'll sleep on it, kind of thing?
Well, I want you to make a persuasion check, and anyone else in the party can you're a party of people. So Lucy, as you were saying, and as Iggy kind of pointed out, it's perfectly fine to be like, we know this, or to be like, in this situation, I'm going to use this to help out, or if he fears, just because I'm pulling.
Maybe I have my tomb there to show him the thing, so maybe I was trying to help him show our evidence so far in my.
Yeah. I'm happy to help out if that's okay or fine or whatever else. Because any charisma bonuses we can give you.
I mean, actually, I can't.
Yeah, I think that maybe Iggy and Hook saw Arlington talking to the king of this entire village and saw him visibly sweating and remember him specifically saying, "I'm bad in social situations," while the two charismatic people are sat 20 feet away. So I think they're looking to what hints can I give him?
The army might fall under the whole trying to damage Rua's plans, and I'm stuck in this little what's the word with her?
You're stuck in a legally binding life-ending contract. Yeah.
Yes, exactly. All for my own gain.
A murder death pact.
Or the world. So I probably won't. I won't help with the army raising. Although I would have given you plans.
Yeah,
That's a good reason not to help. I'll help loads.
Like like
Cool.
Randir also knows the place, so he probably would be like vouch.
Nice. So instead of just adding a random advantage to Wes to roll, in like a sentence or less, what is your manner of helping? I was starting with Randir.
I guess prior to kind of this, he would probably talk to the once he saw the king, once he saw the king again, he'd probably like talk to him and tell him the situation that we're trying to use this as use his kingdom as a base of operations. The companions in which he's brought with him are good people who are just trying to make sure that the world doesn't end. That his kingdom is safe and better to help the
Nice.
kind of
Yeah,
just vouching for them and just being like, yeah, they're a bunch of idiots, but like they're well-meaning idiots on a good mission to help the world.
You're the moral version of Wormtongue. Just be like, yes, my lord, help them.
Do the right thing.
Gummy worm.
Yeah, gummy.
And Hook.
Yeah, I was just about to drink there. Yeah, I think I would help by fleshing out the kind of actual parts of the farm where he's fumbling. I'll be like, this is the power. We think she's using the roads. We actually have intel here, as in.
I know it didn't come across in that initial pitch, but we are informed.
Yeah, there's some information. We're not just some guys going, the world's going to end. Let's all wave some sticks at them.
Nice.
So I think I'll flesh out the bits that Arlington, for whatever reason, forgot to bring forward. That
In
I think is
hindsight, Arlington is just that guy with the bell and the sandwich board saying the end is nigh. It's like he doesn't actually know what's going on.
Yeah, I'll flesh out the facts with the road and he pointed at the point where we think it's going to happen, and that if it's close, if I'm around for the whole time, and if it's close, then that's a even greater reason why this being a base of operations for what we're trying to do. Because if it ever happens, we can react, or if we get an idea, we're close by. Plus the teleportation circle. So
yes, nice. Arlington, roll a persuasion check with advantage.
Okay. Just ahead of time, I always feel like I should highlight this. I do have a -1 to this, so
that's fine.
Can I?
Yeah, we knew that from the roleplay.
I can do my thing.
leading into my character.
My thing to give him a plus, right?
I got a plus. Got advantage there.
Yeah, but I can also use it's either Tides of Chaos or Bend.
While you're looking it up, Randir knows off the top of his head because he's a good player.
I'm going to use Flash of Genius, which gives him a +4
Nice.
to ability checks or saving throws.
Oh, nice. Okay, so Arlington makes a befuddled persuasion and then perks up and gets a 14 and corrects himself.
In total?
14 total with Randir's bonus. I got an 11 -1.
Yeah, mine is I can give you an extra D4, so I'll roll it now.
On top of
It
that,
takes 2 sorcery points. You got 2.
that's 16. With 2 people helping me, I got a 16.
And advantage. Oh.
Yeah, 3. Sorry, 3. Excuse me. 3 people helping me. I got a 60. That's the best possible egg.
Can I give him my inspiration?
From before? Yeah, if you
I
want
already
to.
had advantage on it.
Oh, yeah. Oh, that's
Lucy gave me advantage.
Oh, okay. Yeah, no.
But you can,
that's
if you
literally
want
as high as
like
it
that's a
could
free
be.
reroll. Oh,
Yeah.
did you get an natural 20?
No, as in with all the advantages and stuff, but it's,
Oh,
the
but like,
higher of the
Randir can
advantage
still
rolls.
give you another dice to roll to see if you get higher than your.
Oh, can I get
dice.
triple advantage? I didn't know that was a thing.
Well, using your inspiration dice, I think you can just that's a free DM thing to reroll into them.
An even lower roll. An even lower roll. So yeah, 16 total.
Well, I'll remove my inspiration.
I'll remove
It was
those
worth it.
points.
Over the king comes up to you, finds you one of these mornings.
I think Arlington senses that the king is not picking up on his persuasion skills, and he remembers like, no, I've decided I'm going to stop trying to be persuasive. I'm going to rely on my physical traits. So he starts explaining how strong he is, and like specifically explaining the things he's lifted and then put down again, and then lifted up and then put down again, and how he's progressed, and like that's how he's trying to wow him. He's like, okay, you're not interested in my techniques, so here's how strong I am, and that's why it's only a 16 because he's clearly not that impressed.
Yeah, no, he's not. He picks up the thing you're lifting and with one hand throws it over his shoulder.
Okay. Rander will be behind Arlington holding a red rubber ball and pointing to us, and then pointing at him, pointing at the king, and going, "If that's a bit too much."
He's like, I'm a king.
I have like 50 red balls.
What's a gold ball?
Release the balls. And then a load of tennis balls just fly down the hill. Why do you think we're on a hill? All these people run after the balls.
Chaos.
Well, Arlington, I thought about it, and I'm thinking, I'll tell you the thing. I have this whistle, and it doesn't make any noise, but it calls the kingdom to your aid. And he takes out a silver whistle. Not silver. He takes out an iron whistle. It's silver color.
Yeah, I can't imagine werewolves are big on silver.
Is it called a wolf whistle?
It is. It is now, anyway. But I could give you this, and in your time of need, you could whistle this, and if there's any of the kingdom nearby, they will come to your aid. But I do need you to do something for me.
Oh, yes, whatever you need.
Roll a d20.
I don't have one. What's a d20?
He hands you a 20-sided dice to roll down the hill. When love is his effort. And you see colorful dice.
Not for everyone to roll. Just me. Ooh, 5.
5.
Big old chunky 5.
We see a couple of days later the flicker of a campfire inside a cave. And we see
Arlington having been kicked out of town.
I need you to leave. We see Hux Punks dressed head to toe in straw suits and hats out on a mummer's walk. And from the shadows, we hear someone go, "In your own time." And we see a grotesque ogre pointing towards a makeshift stage, waiting expectantly. Hux Punks, what do you do?
Walk on stage.
It's all of us, is it?
Yeah, you're all there.
Rander is going to
You're
play.
gonna go for smoke effect? Sorry.
Nice.
Go ahead.
Cool.
Smoke effect is good. Rander is going to put down the boxes that he had. And which goes, they're going to be a light show one and music.
Cool. And Huck.
I will. Yeah, I'll. If she's putting smoke down, I'll bamf. Like use prestidigitation for making doves appear and like appearing on stage or whatever.
Nice. Arlington, the stage is set. The magical dry ice hangs around your feet. Lights kind of from darkness. 2 spotlights hit you and some lights behind you. And there's also some music. Doves appear from nowhere.
I'm gonna break this on like some Mr. Universe poses, like bodybuilder sort of. that weird, freakish, sinewy, oiled up sort of like. That's not how a human body should look, but well done.
Yeah, nice. Make an intimidation check.
Not athletics. This is gonna be based on my charisma.
Yeah, it's a performance.
Okay, that's an 8 minus 1. That's a 7.
Nice. We see Arlington lay that night having some food with the king, and he goes, "Well, thank you, Arlington. It's really embarrassing that he gets us to do that, and I just could not stand sending one of my own. So I'm glad that you went in and just completely embarrassed yourself for that ogre. I really appreciate it."
I didn't find it that. Honestly, the strangest part was that there was no audience.
It's demoralizing, Arlington.
It's very demoralizing. Honestly, I would consider myself a not particularly charismatic person, but I've definitely taken. I'm down to at least a -2 after that.
It probably also was terrible that like the Hux Punks members that were also there didn't clap or cheer or do anything. So we were also just like
no encouragement from friends or family.
Yeah.
Tig is there in the front row. Boo!
Nice. He hands you the wolf whistle, and I need you to roll a d4.
This has been a weird episode for D4. I'm going to go with D&D Beyond because I don't think the dice are in my favor. Oh, I can roll to everyone. That's why I was confused. I clicked the wrong thing. 3. Hooray.
3. Iggy. You're looking to get some items identified. Let me know what they are. And then you're going to go to an Agla. But we're going to do that as if it's after the scrying thing.
Okay.
So we're just going to jump forward in time. So success or failure, we don't know yet. But we'll just play it as if it's whatever. Yeah. Okay. But the items, what did you want to get identified?
The items, okay. I have, this is probably not even worth it, but I have had this since we used Arlington's virginity to get into that cave. Before, maybe we weren't even on stream, but we did that, and we went to.
There's something gross about using someone's virginity.
Yeah, we like tricked some like.
Yeah. It was the
Yeah, because they overvalued the traditional
person or whatever
virginity,
it was.
No, it was
really very heteronormative.
Ben gave us something in like, you know, hard to read language, but it did say good. And we focused on.
Oh, yeah. I wrote some runes, but the runes ended up looking. That was definitely off stream. That was in some of our test episodes. Yeah. The runes ended up looking like the word virgin somehow. All I wanted as a DM was for them to druid craft some stuff for the dryads to be like, cool, you're one with nature. But instead, the party were like, just tell me he's a virgin. And
we actually have the audio for that saved on my laptop somewhere because we recorded it for a test. Yeah. So
there was like a G and a V, and it was just like
we always went straight to virgin. It's like, yep, Arlington would 100% be a virgin, and that will be his entire character trait for the rest of this campaign.
Yeah.
But it got us down into this tomb, and we killed some things, and then we scavenged, and I got things like chalk and stuff.
Well,
but I also
episode 1 is where that starts. You're leaving that tomb.
Oh yeah, and I feel like I do have I have a clay pot, and I'm like, what is pot? Is something useful?
Yeah.
It turns out that's the cauldron that we've been looking for.
Yeah, that's what I'm hoping.
Snagda's cauldron.
That's what I'm hoping for.
Also,
I also want to ask him about the book, I think I've read the book now, but anyway, but maybe.
Oh yeah, you could spend some of your montage definitely reading that book and have it like tick, boom.
Well, I was gonna say or I've already done it because I think I was reading it the last 2 rests, but
but you weren't like, it still takes like a lot of hours. So unless you didn't sleep, then you haven't read it yet. But by the end of this montage, you will have. You bring this to Goat, and Goat goes, "Oh yes, actually, well, this is incredibly magical. It's a wondrous item. If you plant an ordinary shrub in this pot and let it grow for 30 days, the shrub magically transforms into an awakened shrub."
Cool.
Wow.
Wondrous.
I thought he was just going to say it was going to like, you get a shrub.
Yeah.
You get a bigger shrub.
Yeah.
And the knowledge that you helped something grow.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, cool. I've had that clay pot sitting the whole time.
The shrub is friendly to you. It will be happy that you raised it. And, unless you give it commands, it just does nothing.
Iggy, the awakened shrub, it'll be like, it'll be alive. It'll be a familiar.
That sounds nice. Although in 30 days, we'll all be dead, so...
That's true.
But you'll have a Groot knockoff, so it'll be worth it.
Rander's just thinking of merchandising now. Like, it's like if I could just, I could sell these things and they can dance with the music box.
Okay, well,
Rander's envisioning like baby Goat, like it's like Goat but smaller and cuter and more marketable.
I'm definitely gonna plant something in it, but I'm gonna slightly be like, it wasn't the pot that we need, but I had to check. And then I guess
what you plant in it, just out of curiosity, so I know if we make it past 30 days, what the type of, like, do you plant a potato? Because if it's a awakened potato, it's going to be very different from like an awakened sunflower.
Well, I was thinking if Randir is in this garden that he's making, I'm assuming maybe I'd like try and nick one of his things, like with permission. But I don't know what he's
some hops
in his garden. Yeah, some hops.
Probably have some hops.
Yeah.
Hops are plants, right? Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah. They come from the ground.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. So some hops. Any other items? You had some other stuff.
I don't actually think there's anything else that like I need him to check. I have like that paintbrush that Ted gave me, and like the chalk. I think I know what these. I think I'd probably show him that the Tomb of Leadership and Influence, to be like, oh, so this is what I'm reading because I've made this like pact with the big bad, to see if he has anything else to say about it.
No, not really. Nothing beyond like he kind of picks it up and goes, "Yeah, looks like a mundane book to me. Interesting read."
Okay, cool. Okay, cool. I think that's all. That's good.
You get the impression that some of its magical properties have left the book and entered you. So that's why but yeah. Anyone else have anything else they want to get identified while we're here? While we're in the kind of free for all? Yeah, we got some hook identification.
Yeah, there's my cloak. I mean,
Can I get? I mean, it's already identified, but can I get the Lair Skull Axe clarified? Because what was it like? I basically, when I throw it, it might come back. Can I get more like specifics on how it works, or is it just like the probability of it coming back, that kind of thing? I'm really like, as in, at first I was like, cool, like, you know, a gamble, it might come back, but I'm like, I really don't want to throw my only weapon away and have it not come back.
You hand it to Ghost, and with all his strength and power, he tries to throw it, and it goes like straight into the ground. And then he tries to summon it back, and nothing happens. And he goes, "Well, all I can suggest is trial and error. Just keep trying." So you get the feeling it's outside of his realm of expertise. Okay.
Do I have time in regards to the montage to... I don't know if everyone actually watched Falcon and Winter Soldier, but they do a very good shield montage.
They do a very good shield montage. That's right.
I'm basically thinking that like he puts like mattresses and stuff on trees. That's kind of what I envision.
Yeah, you can do that. You can do that, and let's say when you spend that time doing it, because we probably won't get to more army recruiting, but that's like, I'll put in like sidebars in sessions going forward to just, you pick a place every session and we'll go there for a little bit. Which is great fun as a DM, not knowing where in the world Arlington's gonna go. So
I get to decide when and what I'm doing.
But consider it no level of understanding of the item, but advantage the first time you try it.
Okay,
and
cool.
You get the feeling that without the stress of battle, it's like, you know, until you're running the race, you don't know how fast you really are. So just jogging normally, that doesn't tell you. So
what I glean from Goat's input is that like the only way to get better at it is to use it in a real world situation.
Yeah.
Cool. Good to know.
It's a leap of faith.
Cool.
All right. And then you are looking for the rags hook. And as am I.
Just while that's going on, during the montage thing, Randy would also probably be reading Goat's Book of Inventions.
Oh, nice.
It doesn't take any, it doesn't take any screen time, so.
Take the Kluber and place it beside the Huber.
Yeah.
All right. Goat identifies this cloak for you, and he says, yes, well, it's tattered rags of divination, and when worn, you can cast the spell divination with no material component requires.
Oh. What's the spell divination like? Because I mean, I put this rags on and it showed me 4 different things happening, but one of them was all my mates dying.
Divination. Well, I get the feeling that it sort of connects you to a higher plane, and you ask a single question concerning a single event that's going to happen in the next 7 days or so, and you'll know truthfully whether it might happen or not. I have no idea why I showed you your friends dying, because it's probably been 7 days since you found the cloak, but maybe just a flash of magical potential. Maybe just some flavor text.
That sounds very handy. Anyway, I can at least check if Rue is gonna do her thing in the next 7 days. Regularly.
Hey, but there's something odd about this cloak, something I'm not reading, so just be careful if you do use it. That's...
So you reckon it's a trap?
Well, isn't everything a trap if you use it incorrectly?
Okay.
Like right. This thing I found, and he has his 2 fingers caught in like a...
Hey, that looks fun. Can I have a go?
I wish I could, but I just can't get my fingers out.
Here, can I try to jam my fingers in as well?
And the two of you for the next 7 days have your fingers trapped in this
Oh no,
contraption.
my montage.
It would be so fitting to be like, well, Huck loses a week of his training because he insisted on getting involved in someone else's problem.
All right. So that's stuff identified, and we're going to Onagla to meet Iggy's father.
Yeah.
Thing. Yes. Nice. Everyone finds themselves in the cold sleet, rain, and wind of a northern coastal town. The houses here are made of hard rock. You're used to sort of thatched roofs, but here it seems to be slate. Everything is a grey stone. And the trees here are all withered and sort of grown sideways, as if the wind themselves have just sort of blown them in a singular direction, which means that they're not very good at getting sunlight. It's cold. It's very cold here. Not snowy, but just sort of wet and overcast. Iggy, you know this place. You grew up here.
Can I are we going to a teleportation circle, or are we able to choose where we're going to in the town?
Well, here's the thing. There is no teleportation circle in...
Just outside the town limits. I can't.
Yeah, so you can stop there. So you can... let's say through the farmhands at the Kingdom of Ossory, you managed to borrow some horses. You went to the nearest teleportation circle, which would probably be, like, to be honest, there's actually no near teleportation circle. Your best bet to get to where Onagla is from the Kingdom of Ossory is to ride for a couple of days. Like say it's a 5-day is the end of the montage. This might be day 8, so we might have to go a day over now. And I'm wildly overestimating how big this map is, because there's no actual teleportation.
Guys, I know what you're thinking, but calm down. It's not like he wrote the thing.
Yeah, exactly. And crossing over one of the bridges that the orc trials, which you would have grown up with. So you know that in the Cliffs of the Hunt, to the very north, there is a tribe of orcs that live there. And they very much are like peaceful, not at all like orc pirates that most of southern Hibernia would know. But every once in a while, when there's a test for leadership, they go to the Widow's Ravine, which is this big, deep chasm, thousands of feet deep. And they tie a rope across 2 trees, and they stand on the rope and fight, like gladiator Q-tip style, on this rope. And eventually that rope will snap and a tree will fall across, creating a natural bridge across the ravine. So the more trials they have, the longer that distance gets. At the beginning, it was just quite a small, narrow gap, but trees fall down. And slowly and surely, it's getting to wider and wider as the entire ravine opens up to the northern sea.
Did Iggy's adventure with the orcs happen off stream? I can't remember.
Yeah, it was a backstory.
That was good shit. That was probably one of the better ones. That's unfortunate.
I suppose this shite we've been putting out for 2 years.
I know, but I mean, as in, like, it would actually. I couldn't remember if we needed to like clarify, because you were going into kind of detail how the ritual worked. I'm like, yeah, they were watching. Obviously, everyone's been binging the show, so why clarify?
Yeah, there was so much world building done in a couple of test episodes while we were getting our tech and kind of everything sorted, and then I just haven't done any since. Look, I am, but to a certain
the world's been built. It's fine. It's not going to build.
Yeah, everyone knows. It's fine. So you cross over and you make it to the Widow's Ravine. I will say to you, it's probably, if we ever come back to the distance, longer than 3 days. But as a DM who's made that mistake, for this, you all got hasted horses.
I was going to say maybe they're hasting and using spells, or okay. So what I want to do is I want to stop short of the town. I don't want to enter the town, because the Moor demon has told me to never return to that town, and if I do, people die. So I want to stay on the edge, and maybe I've sent ahead a message to my dad, or are we try and find someone on the way to go and send him, pay them something to get my dad to come and meet me at a spot.
Yes, yeah, that makes sense. And you, there is a hill just outside of the town where you would have come as a kid, because you would have been one of the only half-elven children here. And there was no elves either. It was mainly humans. So you were seen a little bit as, the odd one out growing up. And so there was a spot you would find outside of town, which you would sit and kind of relax and draw and be in your own thoughts, that when there was an argument at home or a bit of disagreement, your dad would know to find you here. So that's the spot you've picked. And you all see a figure approach in a dark grey, almost like sealskin cloak. It's lashing rain. And Iggy, you instantly, although it's been some years maybe, you've been on this kind of journey for quite a while. You recognize this gate, and you know that this is your father.
I just want to. I'll run up and hug him immediately.
Yeah, he has. There's certain differences. He's a little bit older. He's using a walking stick, but he seems just as tall, just as big. And you jump up, and he pulls back his hood and gives you a big hug. Iggy's dad couldn't be further from Iggy in terms of appearance. It's clear that she is mainly.
It was a very long hug. You want to get close.
The furthest time.
Iggy's dad is Stretch Armstrong.
No, both of my parents are distant. No.
He has a big, thick, black, like fisherman's beard, and you notice now that there are kind of speckles of grey in it. His hair is quite short and tight, and he has sort of a furrowed brow but warm eyes. That he seems like it's merely his lifestyle and the weather that have sort of sterned him, but underneath is quite a warm and nice man.
He's just put on head and kiss him all over his head and say, hello, I'm so sorry I've been gone for so long. How are you? Is everything okay? Who's going on? Is everyone still here?
Iggy, slow down. Everyone is fine. You sound like there's much more trouble afoot. And you mentioned, I should have told you this years ago. I got the sense that you've been looking for your mother.
Would you believe she came up? Yes. Yeah, sort of what I'm here to ask you about. I know I left here in order to come back with a solution. Instead, I've come back with more problems. That's what children are for, right? I'm just gonna be shaking a bit, I think.
Yeah. He pulls you in close, and the rest of you don't hear this, but you hear it, Iggy, and he goes, Iggy, don't worry. You didn't go looking for solutions. We've been getting on fine. I mean, it's not the best back there. And as you hug him, he used to have a little bit of a beer belly and a kind of a jovial weight to him, and he's a little bit thinner. And he feels a little bit weaker too. He goes, everyone's fine. You don't have to worry. Get out of the rain. And he kind of tries to lead you up towards where there's a little bit of shelter with this tree. And he goes, don't worry about big problems. We'll solve that when we solve it. I can't believe you found her.
Can I want to probably I probably have prepared some on the way, but I would just want to immediately show him all the maps, pictures of what I saw Rua as, and I'm just trying to tell him everything all at once. But the road.
To show him all her drawings. This is the most invested I've been in this campaign. I need this to go well.
Well, it amongst all those are the selfies that I took,
drawings of yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah. He doesn't. He goes to introduce himself to all of you, but the moment you start showing him pictures, and especially the moment you show him what looks like a very close approximation of Rua, he's just captivated. He just takes it and looks at it. He goes, and it's a picture of her as a tree, but he still sees it, and you can see he's kind of he takes a hand and just sort of brushes over where her kind of eyes would be and goes, Iggy, it is her. I thought we'd lost her. She left saying she wanted to find us a better home. I said we have a home, and I just thought with the Black Hound and life as isolated as it is, that we just. And I did try find her. I did, but with you at home, I couldn't leave you. And then time had passed, and
Did you know what she was trying to do? Do you know where she came from?
your mother's always been a bit of an enigma. I know she's come from she used to joke that she's come from one of the most beautiful, magical places in Hibernia, but I mean, look around. Hibernia's a wasteland.
Is she the original like manic pixie dream girl? This guy.
Now we must defeat her.
Did she seem really creative and aloof and like okay?
But I know she just seemed determined, and look, you have your mother's determination. I can tell you that much.
How did you meet her? Where do you know where she came from?
I don't know where she's come from, but we met in a. Hey, this is going to sound crazy, but we met in a dream, like a waking dream. I feel like we were in a meadow of heather, and it was. Well, to be honest, I've been thinking of your mother a lot because it was eternally evening there, and it's eternally evening now. Not that you could tell with the sky, but you can tell with the land. And well, then she came.
She's coming back here. She's trying to get back here. And it's not that I want to stop her. In fact, I'd love to see her more. But her coming will cause a lot of death, and that's not good, right?
No, Iggy, that's not good. I mean, your mother was hot-headed at times and ferociously beautiful at other times, and I mean, she does have a streak, but no, not at the expense of people dying, and not at the expense of danger and harm. And where do you know where she is? Maybe I can talk some sense into her. I could usually talk her down out of her angrier moods, and I didn't know a lot about her, but she did seem to have a vengeful streak, and that all went away when we started to settle down.
Question: When the plague that's plaguing the town, the Moor demon, when did that begin? Was that while she was here, or was that when she left?
That began after she'd left. About 9 years. You were about 9 years old. That's when that began.
I'm just wondering if there's a connection, if she could help us with that. Do you think it's worth? I mean, I actually think I can probably call her now. I don't know if we should give her a call if you want to talk to her. I don't know if that's a bad decision. What do you think, guys? I'm kind of in a little parent trap moment here. Like maybe they should have some pasta and
Maybe not unprepared. Maybe we should put line our pieces up in order. I'm not saying everyone, a family reunion wouldn't be the worst thing in the world, but maybe let's not go in blind. We should figure out what our game plan is first.
Sure.
Well, you can bring the
hide
whole
the sketches of them kissing.
Hugs in like tears, just like nothing. Get everyone giving them hugs.
Yeah, we all have pretty bad, histories with parents. So I don't think anyone in the general group can be like, let me impart some wisdom now. We're all pretty fucked up with parents.
Yeah.
Rander talks to his mom and dad every day.
I don't know. Yeah.
Oh shit, I hadn't thought of that. Actually.
Yeah, look how well
they're loving and supportive, and they're there for him. Yeah, okay.
Oh, boss.
Right as he was razzing on you. Well, you mentioned you had a question for me. What was it? Or do you needed something, or to? What I appreciate you're here.
Do you know Mommy's real name?
What do you mean? Your mum's always been called real name. Her name's Maeve.
Dun dun dun. I'm back.
And There is a beer which I have in my fridge, which I've had in my fridge for about 2 years, back when we were playing in person, called Maeve Rua, and it's brewed by the White Hag.
Name's been Maeve this whole time?
Yeah, Maeve Rua. Yeah.
Excellent.
But I would normally be more prepared and expecting that this conversation would be happening, because I was thinking, well, run down and get it and show it on stream, but there is, and it's a big bottle, which is for all of you when we're next in person, because we used to do that at the table. I used to have bottles that I would hand around. So the next time, it could be, I did ask the White Hag, I was like, how do I keep this? Because I might need to keep it for a while. They're like, in the fridge. So it's been in the fridge and moved house with me for a while. But next time we're in person and next time we're on stream, I will give it to you all to enjoy.
And I'll get to taste my mother's.
Jesus Christ.
He's gonna neck your mom.
I think he's going to be real weird about it. Can't wait.
Oh, Lucy is banned from podcast forever. No. Oh. Wait, so did you reach out and were you like, I'm running a D&D game and this drink hinges on them figuring out a certain puzzle, but I don't think they're going to figure it out. How long do I have?
Yeah.
No, I just said, if I didn't want to drink this straight away, how do I store it? And they said fridge, and I kind of went, okay. It seemed like a cellar kind of thing, but sure. Yeah.
So it's been taking up room in your fridge this entire time.
Oh, this entire time! I can't wait.
This is a thank you. Thanks, Kim.
What was the stout you got before that everyone had?
Oh yeah, that was the
That was your one. The pirate?
The not landfall. That was the
It was not flying. It was when we were talking to like the tree guy in the fucking snugs. Which?
Trip in the Woods, or
there was a French
there was a French one. Yeah, there was a French one.
Yeah, whatever that was. That was really
That's
tasty.
the pirate queen lady.
Oh no, it was Bigfoot. He had a like chocolate.
Yes, that was it. Chocolate stout. Bigfoot. You're right.
Yeah. It was one of the Bigfoot ones. I think.
I think that's
hey,
that was really good.
Anyway,
you did something similar before, and it was very, very good, very enjoyable.
Yeah.
Cool.
It's been a while since we've had that, because we've been in remotely for so long that there's no point in me picking up those fancy big bottles.
We've been remote longer than we've been in person, which is insane to think about.
Yeah.
But soon we'll have all had the greatest brew of all, the vaccine. We can once again.
For the sake of brevity, but on Agla and access to your father is open for more conversations. We can come back, you can flashpoint this, and we can flesh this out. But Huck, all you had was like find out what the cloak was and help out with the ritual. Was there anything else?
Yeah, well, I did have a thought, and then it kind of hinges on Arlington being agreeable, but I would like to spend as much of the time as possible trying to specifically bamf him to the divine realm again, so that he can talk to the gods. As much time as possible, provided he's amenable with me teleporting him, and with the chance that it might not be bang on. But if I can spend how much time researching,
Arlington is very up for trying to get there, because I was trying to figure out a way to get there and talk to the gods, and I couldn't think of a way, because basically I don't want to make a religion check to do it. Arlington is very up for it, but Arlington 100% wants to know specifically what your methods are, because if you're just going to delete him and hopefully, like, if you're thinking like cut and maybe paste you somewhere else and fingers crossed, maybe not.
I'm just thinking we have a go and sure, what's the worst could happen? No, I reckon that being who you are, there's a certain level of anchoring, and if I can plan it, I can banish people. I have the power to teleport people to a realm anyway. If I can spend enough time thinking about that power,
I mean,
might be able to.
If it's considered a realm, would I have an affinity to it?
Yeah,
this is it. So banishment doesn't necessarily. You don't get control over the plane of existence.
No.
And there is a spell called plane shift. So in this case, where normally be rule of cool, like plane shift does exist. So I don't know if you're high enough level yet. But if you have a little think about it, I'll come back to you in like 5 minutes while we do Iggy's D20 roll on the chaos table.
Yeah.
What's that?
Roll a D20, Iggy.
8?
8. Okay.
It's not pleasant.
we on your way back from Anagla, we see Iggy, Huck,
Sorry,
and
just
Randy.
real quick, I have to run to the bathroom, but Arlington is using the bathroom, and if anything comes up, he uses his eagle vision.
Okay, all right.
Does he need the eagle vision to use the bathroom?
Yeah. Just to see where he's being. It's a mile away.
Yeah.
That was a boys are a gross joke. So
Yeah.
I mean, it could have been a small Willy joke, but I didn't know if I wanted to do that.
That's a much better joke.
For the record, definitely called that.
That's where I was
It's a
going.
classic.
Then.
Yeah,
I mean, you guys didn't get that at all, so that's fine.
No.
I thought you were going
He
for
needs
that.
eagle vision.
Really?
Yeah.
I thought that was a clear men miss the toilet and are messy.
No, why
That's
would
fair.
we? Why
That's,
would
that's
we?
not that's not a thing that I'd be referencing.
Yeah.
'cause I
Why?
am-
Also.
Oh,
why
sorry.
would
That's what we talk about when you're not there.
Yeah. That makes a lot of sense.
It's also why would
And
any
I live
man
in
ever own up to that?
Yeah.
I need to use my eagle vision.
You're this
I
makes
don't mind.
sense that all of you were like, what are you talking about? We never do that. Yeah. Sorry. Go on.
I never miss.
Yeah.
So Iggy, Huck, and Rander, you are tied together in a boiling cauldron. Arlington is bound by the wrists and attached to a spit that's roasting ever so slowly over a fire. And you see that there are shriveled corpses on a scorched grass surrounding the pot. And they're all looking on hungrily. They're animated. You've all just managed to get the bindings loosened. And behind the animated corpses, you see... what have you been... Sorry, I left it blank because I figured you'd be looking for items. You see the item you came looking for. But the item you came looking
the
for
love of my father.
is... This is your father.
Because I found it.
Yeah. Were you looking for anything? No. Let's say you see one item from the deck of silly things that will be useful.
Can I get
Yes,
Yeah. If it's just there, yeah, I get it. So Iggy, you've just managed to loosen the bindings. You see these kind of...
Look my item.
No, it is your, this will be your item if you get it.
Okay.
They are shriveled, sort of they look dehydrated corpses. They look fiercely hungry. You know these to be the Gorta Moor. Similar to, and it's funny enough that outside of Anagla, where the Moor demon is, you find Gorta Moor. And Keelan, give us a shuffle of the deck of silly things.
Yeah. Shuffle. All right. There is
Oh, you mean you could go get them as in the deck? I thought you meant the item in the game.
Oh yeah, I'll go get the item. I'll go pick it up for it.
That's what you were saying. I was being a spoilt brat and being like, no, get out of my item.
Now, okay, shuffled. Do you want the top one? Do you want the near from the bottom? Do you want a middle?
Third from the top, please.
Third from the top. Okay,
Thanks, Carol.
That's the top one. Second top one. This third top one.
Yeah.
Oh, it's a white sheet. Hey, it's a white sheet. All right, you got nothing. No.
Yeah, too bad. You got nothing. It's fool's gold, baby.
I didn't know there was. That's just a printing error. Okay, I'll give you the next one. Oh no, not a white sheet. The Sword of Pac. It's a Pac-Man based sword. The Sword of Pac can be found at the center of a vast labyrinth crawling with undead. A long sword of this caliber adds +1 to hit and +1 to damage on a successful hit. The Sword of Pac also deals an additional 1d6 damage to undead or 1d10 damage if the undead creature is a ghost. A cherry on the pommel of this sword can be detached and eaten as a bonus action. Eating this cherry gives you resistance to necrotic damage for 1 minute. The cherry regrows when you kill an undead creature with the Sword of Pac. Once detached, the cherry must be eaten with 1 hour or it'll disappear. You have disadvantage on stealth checks if you move while the blade is drawn, as it makes a low waka waka noise outside its sheath. Also be on the lookout for its partner, the Bow of Miss Pac. And that's, I don't know if I get that properly. There
the Sword of Pac. Very cool. So Iggy, I'm going to give you creative reins on how you collectively as Hooks Punks get out of this situation. So you were in a cauldron all tied together as they're sort of vegetable bouillons being tossed in. Arlington, you missed it. You're upside down on a spit, slowly rotating. And there's hungry, dehydrated corpse undead surrounding you. Which is
what happened while I was gone?
It's the montage episode.
Okay.
Who knew that the
That's what
sword of
Iggy-
pack was going to have flavor for where it has to be?
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Uh-oh.
Iggy, you're.
Kino's
I thought-
fell out. Did everyone hear that as he disappeared?
Yeah.
It's very cute.
Um,
Whoa, into the sky.
Iggy, how do you manage to get out of this precarious situation?
Okay. My first thought is to prestidigitate so that we look unappealing to eat.
Oh, nice.
So I want.
Also, in canon, I don't smell great, so I feel like that would help with that.
Yeah, I want to, if I can, prestidigitate so that we seem unappealing. And is it too much then to try and make something appealing further away? But yeah, I want to kind of look like we're covered in mold and we just look like them, like we're them in the pot and we're not.
Redirect how good we smell somewhere else.
Oh, that'd be good. Yeah.
Each other.
Is there anything?
To each other, so they fight each other.
Well, I was also wondering if I could. You said they were very dehydrated. Can I splash something from the cordium onto like a nearby guy? So maybe he's now in like juices and little vegetable, and then maybe they can pounce on him.
Absolutely. So simultaneously, we see stink lines appearing from the cauldron as Iggy and Randy and Hook just knock it, this sort of vegetable stock, towards this one corpse crawling towards you. The stock just covers the corpse, and as you slink away and pick up the sort of pack, the whole swarm of them just like and just start gnashing on each other. It's kind of gross, too gross to describe. So you make your way out, and you're back in the kingdom of Ossory randomly in that little moment. So to tail out the show, Hook, you had one thing you wanted to do, and then we'll have to do the actual scrying thing. We'll see if that's good.
Yeah.
But I know, Lucy, you actually can't be here next round, or next game. So potentially it's one of those things where you have to be sort of in a moment. So, or like, doing your own thing there. So that's fine.
Suspension fee.
So, yeah. Here's my tack. I've been thinking about it. One, plane shift is like a level 7 skill. So, it's hard to say that I'd be able to do it. But one of the things plane shift can do, if you really try, is banish one monster somewhere away. So I mean, they're related skills. That's my first argument. It's not very strong, but you start with a tally. The other thing is, because Arlington is multiple beings within the same body, I am hoping to banish the whole of him, but by focusing on the portion of him that's from the divine realm, or tied to the divine realm, which is, I would like to banish that.
You want to leave the brains in control.
Yeah, I mean, it's dangerous. That's the thing. I don't know about it. It could be the worst decision we ever.
Absolutely. I mean, beyond what the DM decides, I, as a player, love that.
I may very well
banish
the entire backstory into oblivion. That'd be the worst case. But it will come back within a minute, I guess. That's from the argument. Yeah. It's linked to that plane anyway. The divine realm, being the last king, is something close to. It's like cleanliness. It's very close to godliness. That's what they always say about high kings. They're very clean.
Like all Irish politicians, apparently.
Yeah. Because Irish politicians.
That's a convincing ruling of you're specifically trying to banish Eramon.
Yeah.
Out of Arlington, and hopefully Arlington is taken with Eramon.
Yeah, I'm hoping that they're intrinsically linked, so that I can focus on the divine element of Arlington, so that I'm banishing him to the plane that element came from.
Yeah,
and
which
in
is
the divine realm,
astral plane.
Yeah, the astral plane, and within that plane, time might operate differently or anything else like that. But it's a minute he comes back in our time. But what he can achieve within that time, that is entirely up to the DM, I suppose. Yeah.
Yeah. I get you.
Not work.
Okay. Leave it with me for 2 weeks, because that could be quite big.
Okay.
Right. Leave it with me, because you've just introduced time travel and personality bending and so many other variants. Please give me 2 weeks to figure out how that works.
Well, you are 3 characters in one. He told me to think about it, so that's the problem.
I think that's fucking great, but I can understand how you might need to add a little bit extra time to put the rules of train track in front of this particular train.
Yeah. I mean,
No,
he
that's
could,
really
yeah,
good.
he could just decide to have your.
That's
you
fucking
lose
brilliant.
Aramon. And we have to
No,
go-
I went like, well, plane shift exists. He'll never think his way out of
Yeah.
this, but that's so creatively good that like you can't not. That's pretty. Look, Rose is written. Suck at Gygax. We got our own game now.
I think the only argument here is that I'm spending 5 days thinking about it. You know, I'm like
Oh, yeah.
spending all of the time to do one like precision banish.
Splashing a random squirrel with holy water and seeing if they banish and come back
Yeah.
holier.
and like whether or not this works, like he's doing this while I'm doing my own thing, so I can fully see Arlington like doing like, you know, personal trainer stuff like, oh no, you've got to, you know, clench your core when you're doing this, and all of a sudden just goes completely brain dead as like he just disappears from another realm. He's like, oh.
Was that the Realm of Screams again, or did we get? No, yeah, Realm of Screams. Okay, yeah.
That's so
Nice.
good.
All right,
You could possibly
let's
take...
wrap up Iggy's scry. I think just as we're closing out the show. So we're talking about abjuration to protect a sphere of mental, like we're basically taking cognitive functions and trapping it in a prism of protection by transmuting it out of Iggy's brain and putting illusionary magic into it that refracts against itself. I'm using a lot of science terms that I do not understand. I need to clarify that, but it sounds clever.
Magic.
Mind prism.
Yes. Yes, a mind prism is what we're trapping Iggy's part, like a sliver of Iggy's soul.
I mean,
into.
it's all going to loop back to that Simpsons thing of the monkey clashing the symbols together in Lucy's brain. Like,
Yeah, it turns out it wasn't that complicated in there. There's not much
there was already a tumbleweed in there.
You are spending 5 days. I sent you. Where did I send you that list of? Here we are.
Lucy, your drinks have changed every time. You've had like a giant pint of yellow, a goblet of blue, and like
Yeah.
a small glass of red.
this
I
is
wanted
just-
to ask about the Goblet of Blue.
This is just diluted orange because I was like,
Okay.
would you
Because
believe
every time
that
it's been like a
Chardonnay and
weird, a different shaped glass with a different colored liquid in it.
Yeah, well, I was gonna say the Monster and Chardonnay. I mean, it's like I'm gonna have.
Oh yeah, how was the monster?
So no, I'm now on diluted water.
Just to give you a whole thing, White Claw, the natural lemon spritzer, yeah, that's dangerous. It doesn't taste like
Yeah.
anything at all, and I am for a person who hasn't drunk that much. Yeah.
Nice.
We bought a few of those. They're the hard seltzers, aren't they? They're
Yeah,
like
yeah.
Hard seltzer, yeah.
essentially flavored water that's 5% alcohol.
Yeah.
It's ludicrous.
And you can't taste the alcohol.
It is
Yeah.
Very
really
dangerous.
bad, lads. Like I haven't drunk at all practically for the last like 2 years. And
And now it's like Alco Pops, basically.
I can't believe Homebrew got you on the wagon, off the wagon. I don't know.
well,
We're a bad
never
influence.
on or off the wagon. But
Just don't go back to teenage, like, you know, use a straw so it gets you drunk faster,
no.
you know.
If anything, Paul is the wagon.
See, now this
Wagon.
is important because I don't know if that's a general dig at teenagers, but you've also known Paul a lot longer than I have. So did Paul specifically drink with straws?
No, Paul never drank with straws.
Remember that one?
Okay, because I'd really enjoy Paul at a party with like a can of beer and a straw.
No, I always heard that Alco Pops, and then if you drink it through a straw, you got drunk fast.
Yeah. So this, for some reason, the argument being that you don't get any of that bothersome oxygen in the way.
Yeah.
It's just straight
God, I hate
straight beer going in. I'm
Should
not
we
sure
close out the show. That one. Whoa, as we're clearly all sidetracked by how drunk we are, let's close out the show. All right. Your DC is 12. That's what you got it down to. It was between 25 and 5. You got it down to 12. One of you can roll. I don't mind who it is because it's a straight roll adding on Arcana.
I don't care.
Arlington.
Provided it's not Arlington.
I think.
Well, Arlington, you'd be
Iggy,
using
Iggy
tie
makes the most
stats.
sense because it's been
I have
her backstory's been the most relevant so far.
Yeah.
So I have to roll an Arcana or Arcana?
Arcana.
Yeah, it's Arcana, but I'm being weird.
Okay, I'm gonna.
He's being intentionally shitty, which is my favorite kind of shitty. Lindsay in chat says, "Please drink some water, everyone."
Fair, thank you,
I
Lindsay.
am.
That right? That's just. I just got.
You got a
12,
what?
exactly, on the dice.
Yeah.
Okay.
You can
Well,
see it.
yeah.
Was it 12? I
Yeah.
totally forgot what you said.
12 was your 12 was your DC, but then plus anything you have. Your bard, you definitely have more than 12. You just about make it. So in a side room in this castle in the kingdom of Ossory, Randir has been working on a sort of chamber for you to sit into, of which it is connected through sort of wires and more science than this show has ever seen before towards a table, which is empty. Around that table, Tig is focusing intently, putting out his hand and trying to just form something. He's trying to transmute this item out of an essence that is coming from you. We see, even though they're candles, they flicker like electric lights. For atmosphere.
Candles also flicker.
Yeah, candles flicker.
Yeah, but these ones flicker like electric lights.
There you go.
Okay, yeah, fair enough.
As everything is going off. There is a lever for some reason which Huck enthusiastically pulls down on as lightning fires from Iggy towards this table, sparks, and Tig tries to just condense it. Arlington, you're suplexing stuff. And you hear they suplexed in the background. But you're also, by suplexing, grounding the magic. Yeah, wordplay.
Nice. Okay, that's good. Yeah.
Iggy, what color do you think your essence would be?
Very private.
I'm thinking green, like a sage green.
Sage green. This sage green sort of mist, which moves like a growing vine, starts to form into a perfect prism. And Iggy, you fall unconscious. It has just been such an exhausting procedure. Now, in canon, we know in a couple of days' time you make it to Anagla, but for the purpose of dramatics, you're unconscious now. Who knows? Maybe that was all a dream. But you fall deep asleep on this table, and the procedure, by all intents and purposes, has been successful. You are unscribable. Your mind has been shielded within this item of memories from your childhood. That, I think, is where we should end this. Now, Lucy, we didn't get to do a chaos table for you, or sorry, Huck, Caitlin, we didn't get to do a chaos table for you, which is what we will roll next session when we do the astral plane stuff with Arlington. So we'll go back to the chaos table so everyone gets a chaos table.
Cool.
But for today's episode, and I realize we've run a little bit longer than we normally do, and that is the adventure. Before we go, I've been forgetting to do this ever since Paul has joined as Randir. Paul, people can watch you every Thursday on the internet. Where can we do that?
Oh yeah, I am also part of a entertainment industries kind of commentary channel on YouTube called Hear Us Out. You can just find us, type it in Hear Us Out or Hear Us Out Tube on socials, and we go live every Thursday at 8 p.m. GM.
Nice. Yeah, you should really. It's a fantastic show. If you're part of the Discord, we do watch parties every once in a while for Hear Us Out. You should catch it every week. We're terrible friends for not. So
And you can also check out our last episode when we didn't have everyone. So myself, Ben, and Paul did a film focused sort of writers' room episode where Paul got to flex his film knowledge a little bit more than he normally does.
He knows his stuff. So thank you so much for watching. If you haven't subscribed to our channel, please do. If you don't follow us on social channels, please do. If you've enjoyed this, that all really helps. We'll be back in 2 weeks' time. Until then, look after yourselves. Be sound. Good night.
Nice.
And joy be with you all.
You definitely bought that just
For the
to
podcast, that was
sign off.
a can.
Yeah, there's a can called Good Night. I have a beer called Good Night.
You didn't just think that was really articulate.
Always Lucy covering for the podcast. It's an inferior medium. Stay on you.
They will have heard the goodbye happening and they'll have turned it off before the explanation.
Yeah.
I control when it cuts off. Haha.
And so do I
I
for
think
the
it-
live.